welcome to Tormore Reserve, led by their captains Wayne McGee and Andrew Azzopardi, the Glen Waverley Hawks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Tormore Reserve, led by their captain Steve Shaw, Heathmont. Afternoon and welcome to Tormore Reserve for today's 2011 Eastern Football League Division 4 Grand Final between the Glen Waverley Hawks and Heathmont. The Glen Waverley Hawks finished the year in first spot with 16 wins and 2 defeats. Heathmont finished the year in third spot with 14 wins and 4 defeats. During the home and away season, these two teams met only once, back in round 2, where the Glen Waverley Hawks were victorious by 13 points. The Glen Waverley Hawks booked their place in today's grand final with a 41-point victory over the Ferntree Gully Eagles in the second semi-final. And after Heathmont lost to the Ferntree Gully Eagles by 16 points in the qualifying final, they defeated South Belgrave in the first semi-final, then the Ferntree Gully Eagles in the preliminary final to book their place in today's grand final. Best of luck to both sides today. Our officiating umpires today are Clinton Kingma, Jordan Buckingham and Andrew Bolt in the field. Ashley Hawkes, Sean Fraser, Matthew Prentice and Harry Green on the boundary. David Latchford and Ray Ferrugia in the goals. And Matthew Brereton and Peter Devison are our emergency umpires. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please be upstanding for the Australian National Anthem.
Very good afternoon and welcome to Tormore Reserve in Baronia for the Senior Division 4 Grand Final for season 2011. It is the Glen Waverley Hawks up against Heathmont. Glen Waverley Hawks, the top side in Division 4 this year, getting through to the Grand Final with a win in the second semi-final 2 weeks ago over Ferntree Gully. And Heathmont, they've had to do it the hard way. After losing the first week of the finals, they've bounced back since then and have won their last 2 games to move into the grand final today. And it should be a great grand final. Really looking forward to this one. The Hawks in the white shorts, Heathmont in their traditional blue and gold uniform, of course. And as I just cast an eye to the benches, it's Sam Anderson going to the bench for Heathmont, as well as a couple of others. We'll just try to pick up. Peter Ferrier is one of them. But my name is Brad Henderson. Joining me in commentary this afternoon very good afternoon to the 2010 Clinton Gribus medalist, Ben Warren-Smith.
Good afternoon, Brad Henderson. What a great game it's going to be. Great sides all season, very exciting, very electric sides as well. So we're looking for a bit of a shootout here this afternoon.
Thanks, Benny. Yeah, weather conditions may conspire against that shootout we've been hoping for, but in any event, should be a great game. And to provide his special brand of comments today, it's good afternoon to the coach of the Templestowe Football Club, John Brown.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. Really looking forward to this game. Two sides that have explosive forwards, and it could be a real fiery encounter early on.
Thank you, John. As we get underway in the first quarter, it's Keno in the ruck for Glen Waverley, and it's McDermott, I should say, in the ruck for Heathmont. Good battle between those two today for sure. So the ball up towards centre half forward. Hawks get the first sort of real effective kick of the game towards the middle of the ground. McGee dives over the footy, and we'll have a ball up. Keep an eye on some of the key matchups in the early stages. Who's got the big jobs on Aitken and Sheen? We'll discuss that in a moment as Keno, 2-2 it was, Soccer's off the ground. Chance here for the Hawks to go forward. Ball bounces into open space. Heathmont have the defenders though to clear, and the kick comes out towards our broadcast side over the head there of Dewar. Good contest offered by Will Villani. Dewar now takes possession. Swings it forward. It's a bit of a floater off the boot. O'Driscoll dished off the handball. Shot out there by Sverns. Got it out to Jamie Villani. And Villani has kicked to that outer side of Tormore Reserve, the big wide open wings. And Lee Odermatt there getting his first kick of the game. Up towards Savoury. Shaw now takes possession. Steve Shaw forced onto his left foot. Sends it forward. Chance at the back here for the Jets. Surely the first goal of the game coming up, and it is kicked by big Darren Sheen. He's off to a flyer. The Jets are off to a flyer, and they lead it by 6 points early stages. Benny.
Well, John Brown, what was your early take in these first few minutes?
Yeah, both sides look like they haven't really settled into the game. It's a little bit open at the moment. There is some man-on-man matchups right across the ground, but yeah, it just doesn't seem to be the intensity and pressure that I thought initially would happen in the game, and maybe they're just settling down with some nerves.
It's tough conditions out at Tormore Reserve. The rain has stayed away. It has been coming and going all afternoon. I would not be surprised if it revisit us again. Ball back in the middle. Heathmont with the first goal on the board, and wouldn't you know it, just happened to be the leading goal kicker of the final series, Darren Sheen. Keno versus McDermott. Keno got the knockdown. Comes down to Walker, trying to get rid of it. Quick kick up towards centre half forward for the Hawks, but standing strong in the centre half back position was Peter Forsyth. Wants to switch it now. Does so well. Chopped off there by Corey Walker. He wanted the pill. Boundary line comes near both players, just paddling towards itself. Can they keep it in? The Hawks, they can. Handball over the top, looking for foot. It'll be now the Jets to clear though. Jamie Villani, snap around the body, but only as far as Walker. He's been amongst it in the last couple of minutes. Walker, kick up towards centre half forward. Beautiful kick as Robert Davies comes out and takes a nice sliding mark. It's about 51 metres out from goal. I think he fancies himself here. If he had have turned around a little bit quicker, he may have been able to move that ball on, Brownie.
Yeah, he really needed to just have a look a little bit quicker, but he does have a big, powerful boot on him.
So Davies to the top of the square, ball at the back of the pack. Trapped nicely there by Sverns. Kicks it to the centre half back position. Ball carried a little bit too far, but Odermatt was clever enough to get the running handball on. Centre half forward is the kick as it goes inside the Heathmont 50. Well trapped and running after it was Clint Walker. He has time to swing around on his right boot. Very well done because he's found Dewar. So Dewar kicks it up towards Fia. 2-2 came charging in. David Watt put his body on the line. He'll receive a free kick because he copped on the scone. So right in front of us here. Short pass. Little bit of a scrappy kick back of the pack. Taken by Dewar. Just bangs it on that left foot. In position A is Ferrier. Goes in hard and takes a terrific mark in and under. Wants to get the ball moving. Does so now. Gets it across to Forsyth. He's got players running out wide. If he can manage to do a great tackle, Corey Walker. Wasn't rewarded. Odermatt across the 50, just absolutely dumped. The umpire said, you tried to take him on. No push in the back view, holding the ball, and it'll be a free kick to Glen Waverley.
It will indeed at half-back. Interesting to note that David Want is running with Dewar at this early stage, as Dewar's finding plenty of the footy. Sferns was the target there, couldn't quite hold the mark. Or Davies, I should say, was the target, but Sferns got hands to it first. Hickey, best and fairest winner this year for the Jets. Sends it forward looking for Odermatt, who did brilliantly to keep his ground as his opponent went to the deck. Odermatt's kick into open space. Sheen there led the charge to the ball against Toby Durden. Looks like Durden has the task on Darren Sheen.
Matthews is on Aitken.
Boundary throw-in, Keno against McDermott. Little quick kick around the corner, but as a party there, probably almost should have taken the mark, really. Certainly had a fair grab of it. Takes possession now. Has a party, the skipper for the Glen Waverley Hawks. Looks for his co-captain in Wayne McGee.
That's been a couple of drop marks in their defence at the moment, Glen Waverley. I don't think they've really settled just yet. And Heathmont seem to have a real intent at the moment of moving the ball on very quickly.
Tap one that time by McDermott. Little quick kick into the path of Sindri, who was pushed off it pretty easily by Walker. And by Duo, I should say it is. Those bright yellow boots. We'll have a boundary throw in outer side of Tormore Reserve. Shaw had his kick smothered. Goes in after it again. Steve Shaw throws it on the boot. And the mark held defensively there for the Hawks by Maudsley. Maudsley's low kick was effective towards the wing position. It's Corey Walker this time. Bit of a tumbler looking for Riddle. Jets go forward again. Clint Walker this time drops the mark. Another drop mark defensively, but he had the wherewithal to recover and send it forward. But again, it's fallen down across the wing. It's Villani, who's been busy early, goes short. Gets it on to McDermott. Luke McDermott. Jets ruckman. Looks for Sheen. Look at the big dukes. He sticks them out. He's taken the mark. And some dispute from his opponent there about the mark. But Darren Sheen was in no doubt, and neither was the umpire. So 7 minutes gone. Sheen's already kicked one. Has a chance here for his second. He's had an outstanding season, of course. Century goal kicker for the Jets this year. But he's played well in the finals, and that's what's really...
27 goals before today in finals.
Thanks, Benny. That's what's been particularly impressive. To stand up when it counts, and he's off to a flyer here as well. He's kicked his second, and Heathmont have their second goal. The entire scoreboard for either side belongs to Darren Sheen at this stage. He has two. And the Jets lead by 12 points, coming up to 8 minutes gone in the first quarter. John, I'll just quickly jump in. John, obviously for spectators, when they looked out the window and saw the conditions today, it wasn't looking good. But I reckon there's always some players who look out on a day like today and their eyes light up because they revel in it. From your knowledge of these two sides coaching against them in the past, who do you think these conditions, the wet and heavy conditions, will particularly favour?
Yeah, look, I think players like Anthony Hickey for Heathmont, he's a real, classy on baller. I think he'll certainly get down and dirty and in and under today, and it'll certainly suit that type of player. And I guess from the Glen Waverley Hawks, the one player that today's conditions would suit is the big fella in the middle, Aaron Riddle. If he can really use his size and grunt on ball, then he can certainly give Glen Waverley first use.
Ball's on the half-forward line for Glen Waverley as the kick goes inside 50. Trying to get it on the bounce was Carnelli. No, that was Davies. Ball just inside the square now. We'll have another bounce. So expect a few stoppages this afternoon in these conditions. So it's Heathmont with the first two goals on the board. They do hold the breeze in the first term, so you think that they need to be up by a couple going into quarter time anyway. Good play there by Anthony Hickey. He lost the pill. Heathmont have the numbers now. They can go short or just go to the wing. Probably the better option is to go long, charging out and not taking the mark there was Darren Paul. And they've got players over the back. Leo to Matt, very tricky. Tried to scoot it along to Robbie Savoury. Not good enough though to get there in time. As Corey Walker at centre half back makes some space and wants to clear it now for the Hawks. Kicks a long ball up towards centre half forward. Danny Gray was in position A. Couldn't take the mark over the back there. David Sindri charges the ball forward into the Mickey Aitken direction. Charges out 40 metres out from goal. He'll kick from just inside 50. And the big fella who returns to the side today will look to put Heathmont's third goal on the board, and already those tall timbers down in the Heathmont forward line looking dangerous.
Yeah, and Mickey Aiken certainly won't have any trouble with the distance. He's a prolific kick, and if he can slot this, it put him 3 goals up, and a really good start to the grand final.
So a very fuzzy Mickey Aitken on grand final day leans over the ball, and I think he's put this one through. He's just snuck it in. That's his first goal of the afternoon. Heathmont's third. They move to 3 goals straight, 18. 10.5 minutes gone in this first quarter. Grand final day, Division 4 at Tormore Reserve.
Well, it's good to see Mick Aitken out there, and if he's at 80% or 90% fit, you'd still pick him, you would think, and he's kicked his first goal. He's got Josh Gray, opposed to him, and it was Sindri who got that ball in forward, and David Sindri always provides plenty of can't think of the right word. Plenty of
Drive.
Yeah, plenty of drive, but opportunities for his forwards. And he did so again there. So nice mark by Aitken. Had front position against Gray. Keno. Anderson off the ground. Here he is again, Dave Sindri. Swings it forward. Odermatt takes a mark. He's been pretty good early. Oders. Driving long, left foot kick, and he's found Sheen. Darren Sheen just outbodying Matthews that time and judging it the better. So this Sheen Aitken 2-pronged forward attack really does look ominous early.
I think the impressive thing at the moment for Heathmont is they're winning around the stoppages. The clearances, they're getting their hands on the football, giving them first use, and utilising the breeze by putting it down to the Twin Towers.
Darren Sheen for goal number 3. Walks in. Slight angle. Very confident approach. He's made no mistake. 3 goals on the board for Darren Sheen. 4 goals on the board for Heathmont. And at this very, very early stage, Benny, the game is resembling the grand final that was played in 2007 here at this venue, when Churnside Park played Heathmont. And it was White Horse Pioneers, I should say, played Heathmont, and it was this sort of a start for the Pioneers, who went on to win by over 100 points. It's an ominous start for the Hawks.
They have the breeze though. Ball goes up in the middle. Anderson's moved into the ruck for the Jets. Both sides done their changes. Knudsen down below. Well done by Anderson, the big fella, to get the handball out. Ball just forward for Glen Waverley. Kick forward by Driscoll for Heathmont, just to get it out of that danger zone. Double fister there. Inside 50. Oh, that's a great mark. This could even be 25 metres as well. He was already off and running before the umpire came in and said it was 25 metres. And it'll be Heathmont. Oh, this is looking very ominous. I know you just said that, Brad, but it's 13 minutes in and they're looking to kick their 5th goal.
Yeah, very undisciplined on that occasion.
So the kick comes in, 35 metres out, which is to the left-hand side. That's the first minus score of the afternoon. Heathmont moved to 4 goals, 1-25, and that was Grasby. It was Darren Paul that kicked that last point.
Was indeed. Minus score there by Paul. The Hawks just need to steady here, stop the early bleeding. Another strong mark taken though. Jets to go forward. Thumping kick. Aitken the target, got hands to it, couldn't quite hold it. Maudsley under pressure, looks for 2-2. And there's a free kick there. quite pick up what that one was for. It's gone to Dewar. So Darren Dewar off that trusty left foot. Switches to the outer side where Azapati drives it up towards the wing. McGee against Villani. Nice pick up. The Hawks through Corey Walker. He drives it forward. Jets half back line standing up really well though. Forsyth dished off the handball to Sverns. And Dylan Sverns, not his best effort, puts it out of bounds on the full.
The two walkers off the half-back and across the wing for Glen Waverley have been very good early, but I think the half-forward line of Glen Waverley just need to step up a little bit and get their work rate up. At the moment, they're letting them, the Heathmont backline really run free and set the play up.
Carnelli got it from McGee, looks for Davies. Rob Davies had a fair bit of it off the pack. Shot at the goal, I think it is, what's he done? Point there to Grasser. And Simon Grasser just off target with the kick. That was a promising build-up. So minus score there. First score of the grand final for the Glen Waverley Hawks, kicked by Simon Grasser.
So Dylan Sverns on the left. It's a lovely long kick, goes very long. Corey Walker had the front spot, regathered it, handball over the top. Ball goes back to the top of the square. Who can make the front spot? I think it's Grasser, he does. Man who kicked the last point will go back and surely from point blank range will kick the Glen Waverley Hawks' first goal. So in the long sleeves today, Simon Grasser's had a terrific season. Perfect wingman to Matty Carnelli as they work in tandem on that forward line. And just the guy to get their game started. So Grasser comes in from 20 metres, stabs at it and kicks it straight over the goal umpire's head. Glen Waverley have got their first goal of the Division 4 Grand Final. They move to 1 goal, 1-7. Heathmont a 4-1, 25. We've gone 16 and a half minutes in the first quarter.
And off air, John Brownie, you were saying to us about Ben and BWS and myself having a big weekend. Well, Simon Grasser's had a big day. He coached the Colts this morning. And they went down, unfortunately, but he had to shrug the disappointment of that off pretty quickly and focus on his job as one of the key forwards for the Glen Waverley Hawks this afternoon.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's got the balance right between his coaching and playing. He's been able to do it all year, and he's a quality player, and it's good that he's got his hands on the ball a couple of times and slotted through Glen Waverley's first goal. And that just may settle their nerves a little bit as well.
So he has the entire Hawks score so far, 1 goal, 1. Simon Grasser. And Heathmont are 4 goals, 1, 25. 18-point lead. Much needed goal for the Hawks as Gray tries to soccer off the ground. That's a strong tackle applied once more on Villani, who's already covered in mud. Jamie Villani has been pretty busy in the early stages. Anderson that time was the third man up in the ruck. Quick kick booted forward by Josh Gray. Forsyth brings play out to this broadcast side. Paul takes the mark, wants to handball, does so now. Releases a teammate in Hickey. Hickey's kick looking for Aitken. Aitken got hands to it, just couldn't quite drag it in. Knudsen sets off with the footy, but it's going to have to come back here to Durden. So Toby Durden out towards Dewar. Dewar's long raking kick to the wing. Corey Walker it is, who's had a great first quarter. Drives it forward. Talling kick looking for Davies. Just got it on the half volley then. Nice shepherd provided by Foot. Davies had time. It was 3-on-1 that time for the Hawks as they hunted down the footy, but the kick forward wasn't such a good one. O'Driscoll had the kick well scouted. And the Jets come out of defence once more. Nice pass up towards Hickey. Short pass from Hickey. Finds his teammate on the wing. I think that's Want. Thank you, Ben. Over the head of Savoury. Dewar will take possession once again. He's been good early. Darren Dewar. High ball to the wing. Well, it's hit 2-2 in the face that time. High handball by Aaron Riddle into open space. There's plenty of that on Tormore Reserve.
Playing well, Hickey.
Yeah, great first quarter by Hickey. Not his best effort, though, with the kick, and it's been chopped off that time in defence by Ben Worrell. The inclusion into the side for coming in for David Hall.
So he kicks the ball out of bounds on the full, unfortunately, and it'll be Heathmont once again to go forward. Will Villani swings around, kicks it to the hot spot where Sheen can't get the front posse. It's a 2-on-1 situation. The Waverley Hawk backs get there. The time the kick by as a party. Switches the play. Finds Gray. Just taking his time. It's a little short kick by Maudsley, but it was chopped off brilliantly by Anderson. Couldn't just quite trap the ball. Goes in for the tackle, actually steals the ball off his opponent. Kicks it up in the air. Aiken, can he pull something down? No, the umpire said play on. Charging through the pack then was Worrell for the Glen Waverley Hawks. Good play here. Snap around the body by Robbie Savory. Can it go through? No, one bounce, one behind. Heathmont moved to 4 goals, 2:26, 20 minutes into the first quarter. Division 4 grand final day out at Tormore Reserve. Glen Waverley Hawks at 1-1-7.
There's a couple of players that are getting a fair bit of free latitude at the moment. In particular, Anthony Hickey for Heathmont, and on the other side, Darren Dewar for the Glen Waverley Hawks. And I think both coaches need to have a look at those two individual players and tighten up.
Beautiful timing, Brownie, as you mentioned it. Dewar taking the mark, yet another one, and sends it forward. Will Villani, though, repels, but again, Dewar there just works his way back and had that kick well and truly picked off. Dewar goes very short. As a party for the Hawks. Bring it out to this broadcast side, half-back position. Danny Gray was the was the target. Fisted over the line there from by Steve Shaw. So boundary throw in front of the throng. Paul came over the top. Maudsley under pressure, all wrapped up. He had it for a long time then. Riddle. And we'll have another ball up. It was, in fact, Brad Riddle there Aaron Riddle, who held onto the ball for quite some time. He's probably a little lucky to get away with it. Anderson with the fist and belts it towards the boundary line.
A couple of ruckmen are actually just rotating off the bench here. So Danny Keno's coming back on for Glen Waverley, and also Lanky McDermott for Heathmont.
And the big Disco tried to contest that, but he was fair way off the ruck contest that time, Keno. So we'll have another throw in. I'm sure he'll get in prime position for this one. Good battle going on. Kevin Clark comes on and just plants himself at the feet of the contest, looking to shark it. Goes to the other side though. Hickey, little handball to Knudsen. On to Clark, here he is. First touch of the game, didn't take long. Want throws the ball on the boot, hoists it very high and out of bounds on the full. Maudsley will take possession, the resulting free kick. Maudsley short, looking for McGee. Kick was a bit too tall for him. And nicely spoiled there by John O'Knudsen, who's battled injuries this year. It's very unusual, though, to see Jonathan Knudsen not with his shoulders all taped up and bandaged and covered in, all sorts of things on each shoulder. So he must be feeling pretty good at the moment. There's the kick forward. Was a bad one. Forsyth, member of the SEN Team of the Year squad, got it to Odermatt. His kick, though, falls short, and again it's picked off. At the moment, it's a bit of a battle of the half-back lines. 2-2 on wing position. Very high kick. Gives everyone a bit of a chance. Villani got a hand to it. Davies looking for McGee by hand. McGee did well. Little kick over the top, looking for Carnelli. Dewar in support. Darren Dewar takes possession now. Nice kick, looking for Grasser. Jets, though, have the defenders. They stand up pretty well. Foot got it to Danny Gray. He was pushed off his kick. Grasser grabs a hold of it now. He's all bundled up.
Some really good pressure there.
Yeah, fantastic footy the last couple of minutes. And the umpire will ball it up. It is Heathmont 4 goals. Can't quite read that. 4 goals to 26 to the Glen Waverley Hawks 1-1-7.
So the ball deep. Glen Waverley Hawks forward line. Snap around the body by Davies. Can he set it up and put it through? No. Just pushes it to the right-hand side. Minor score is the result. That's their second. They move to 1-2-8. Trailing by 3 goals at the 24.5-minute mark of the first quarter. Heathmont are 4-2-26.
Davies has actually been quite busy across the half forward for Glen Waverley. It just would have been nice to slot that one through into the breeze.
So Matty Baker, half-back. He's got David Want short. If he wants him, he does. Good play. Goes to Anthony Hickey, who's been very in and amongst it early. Kicks it up towards half forward. Odermatt and Savory could raffle it. Odermatt decided he wanted it. And Lee Odermatt on the left. It's on the right side for him to swing it in if he gets that Buddy Franklin kicking action happening. So he's seen Aitken and Sheen get amongst it. Odermatt, he definitely would be wanting to get amongst it himself. Comes in from 50 metres, hangs it left, stays way left, and he'll be pretty embarrassed by that himself too. So no score, the result, 25 minutes gone in this first term. Division 4 Grand Final day out at Tormore Reserve. Heathmont are 4-2-26. Waverley Hawks are 1-2-8.
Maudsley brings the ball back in. Dewar had to try and mark it on his bootstraps. Want takes possession, but he's forced to kick in a hurry. Maudsley out of defence again. Ball bounces just inside the field of play. Odermatt attacks it, did really well. Shoveled it out to Savory. Into open space. Clark, here he is. Kevin Clark doesn't need much of a look at the goals to kick him. And on this occasion, he's just off target. But you can just feel the Heathmont faithful collectively. They just stand tall and come up. They get a bit excited when Kevin Clark grabs the footy, gets his hands on it.
So Andrew Azzopardi, the co-captain, goes short to Walker. Takes a mark in the back pocket. So told to move it on. Goes up to the wing position, over the back of the pack. Who can get there first? Stephen Shaw didn't want it. Going in very hard there was Jamie Villani. He's earned a free kick. Umpire just telling the boys to settle down. Fia 2-2. It's a big body to get in the way. So just teasing them at the moment. So Jamie Villani also been around it in this first quarter. What a great kick it was. Mickey Aitken, front spotter, was flat punt, but it fell in his bread basket and he'll have a shot 40 metres out from goal directly in front.
I think he might tell Mickey that he meant that.
Yeah, it was a great result, Benny. I don't know if it was a great kick, but it certainly had the desired result. And Michael Aiken here can make the kick look fantastic.
Oh, I definitely think he was the intended target. Whichever way it got there, it did in the end. So Mickey Aitken to kick his second goal, and Heathmont's fifth give the team a massive lift. Push that one to the left-hand side, though. Minor score is the result. A quarter time out at Tormore Reserve. Heathmont are 4-4-28. Glen Waverley Hawks are 1-2-8, a 20-point margin. Back with the second quarter in 5 minutes.
Hawks, it looked early on like Heathmont were really going to put them to the sword. They kicked the first 4 goals, but Glen Waverley did sort of start to hit back a little bit. Only 1 goal, but they certainly played better footy in the latter stages. And it's a 20-point lead to the Jets at the start of this second quarter. As the ball's on the outer side, Dewar got his handball away. Not the best pass that time. It's been chopped off by Savory. Rob Savory looking for Clark. And the mark taken there by Kevin Clark. Want to get onto that left boot. Very damaging left foot of Kevin Clark. It's to half forward. 2-on-1 contest. McGee swings it forward. Looking for Grasser. Jets have plenty of defenders back there though. Off the ground that was by O'Driscoll. And he had Ferrier there in support. So a boundary throw in. No score thus far. Coming up to a minute gone in the second term. Crowd fairly sedate at the moment. Fairly muted. Matthews somehow forced his kick out. Grasser, his kick was for the most part smothered. Savoury drives it out of defence, just clears the area, really tried to belt it as far as he could. Did a good job because he'll probably find the boundary line here eventually, and that's exactly the case. So nice work there by Robbie Savoury. Just dodged the bullet there, the Jets in defence. Davies against Shaw. Shaw palmed it down. McGee, clever little tap to Riddle. And that kick is off target, minus score there for Brad Riddle. And it is Heathmont who now the lead's been whittled back to 19 points.
So it'll be Matty Baker to bring it in. The veteran.
Brother of Dyson, of course. One of two brothers of Dyson.
So Matty Baker just taking his time. The kick to that outer side of the ground. In the Savoury direction, pack forms. Via 2-2 was the first to get it. Got a little handball off, running into an open goal on the left. He's put it straight through the middle. Great goal to the Glen Waverley Hawks. That's their second for the afternoon. And a terrific bit of play there by Bradley Matthews to kick his first goal for the afternoon. Glen Waverley's got 2 on the board now. They move to 2 goals, 3-15. Heathmont a 4-4-28, 13 points of margin, 3 minutes into the second term, Division 4 Grand Final day.
Great start for the Hawks, exactly what they needed. Nice goal there, nice opportunist goal. Kicked by Brad Matthews. 27-year-old and looking to become a Premiership player this afternoon. Back in the middle. McGee, who's been really good in this grand final so far. Clark takes possession. Bounces the kick out towards Savoury.
So Savoury.
Yeah, has been good as well. Savoury's kick falls short of Odermatt, but it lands in the arms there of Want. So David Want. Awkward kick. Fisted away. Well, it wasn't fisted away there by Walker. He reeled in the mark in the end. Did well considering he had one arm pinned back. And well done there by Clint Walker. High kick, big up and under ball. Nicely marked though by Shaw. Steve Shaw into the team this week from the side that defeated Ferntree Gully last weekend in the preliminary final. Aitken on a long lead. Led at the footy, full-chested, took the mark. Aitken's kick, Keno drops in the hole and almost took the mark. Odermatt takes possession now, but it will go
Sheen
back.
got a little bit frustrated there with the double teaming.
It's going to Durden, in fact, the free kick. So Toby Durden to Gray. Big Josh Gray. Long kick to brother Danny. A couple of your former charges, Brownie, at the Forest Hill Footy Club.
Yeah, both very talented, and Danny's actually had a very good start to this game and coming off a couple of goals in the final 2 weeks ago.
Dewar.
Oh, look at that.
Footer, and he's kicked an amazing goal. Great goal there for the Hawks. And Dewar has his first of the day.
I would really like Heathmont to really get a negative run with roll on Dewar. We, as an opposition side, really respect him and his ability. And, you know, he's very dangerous. And you've just seen with that big left foot that he has, he's very precise with the way he uses the football and dangerous on the scoreboard when he gets in front of the sticks as well. So I'd certainly like Heathmont just to have a look at that matchup at the moment.
Hasn't taken long for the Glen Waverley Hawks to take advantage of the breeze. Keno in the ruck versus McDermott. Ball hits the deck. Running and charging through was David Want. Gets the boot onto ball, kicks it up to half forward. Mickey Aitken came flying out. Little chick kick in towards the Will Villani direction. Handballs over the top. Running open goal. Can this be a quick reply to Grasby? No, it can't. Sindri as it goes to the... just falls short. Looking a lot like a 9. I think I've done that a few times already this afternoon.
It's definitely 25.
So the ball comes in. 30 metres out from the Heathmont goals. High tackle.
Gee, he didn't look much in that tackle at all.
He gets a free kick to Anthony Hickey. Can't quite put a finger on it. Brad, you're the one with the binoculars.
It is indeed.
Could have given me a thumbs up. So Hickey, do we back him from here? He's against the breeze. I think the distance will just be within reach. Hickey, he keeps it low. Has he put it straight? No, just to the left-hand side. Bit of a let-off of the Glen Waverley Hawks. They've started well. Heathmont just missing a very good opportunity to get one back. We've gone 6.5 minutes here in the second quarter. It's Heathmont 4 goals, 5-29. Glen Waverley Hawks are 3-3-21.
As Walker brings the ball back in, as a party was the target, had foot in support. McDermott under pressure. Handball lands at the feet of Azzopardi. Azzopardi from half back. Swings it forward. Sverns. Off to Savoury. Long kick by Savoury into open space. 2-2 hunted it down. Shared it with Maudsley. Back to Clint Walker. And it was a lovely pass to Dewar. Dewar's kick, not his best effort, but he still somehow found McGee. McGee burns off the tackler.
As a party, that one.
Sorry, thanks. Yep.
Co-captains.
No, it's my eyesight's like you, Benny. Without binoculars, they don't have to be that far away from to just turn into a blur. So I just went for the number there. Villani has it. Up towards the wing. Dewar in the box seat. He's been good early. He's in everything. Applies a strong tackle this time and forces the ball up. So Aaron Riddle hands the ball back to the umpire. Will be a bounce down. Or a throw up, in fact, of course, on the true wing position. McDermott casting the roll of her over.
Oh, great
Brad
tackle.
Riddle, well tackled by John O'Knudsen. And no advantage there. So the ball comes back to John Knudsen. His mother informs us very reliably that it is Knudsen. Knudsen's kick. Gray worked his way back, couldn't quite take the mark. Kick comes out towards the wing. Here he is again, John Knudsen. Can't quite take the mark again. And the ball just disappears behind that sea of bodies in front of the boundary line.
Both teams have been a little bit wasteful with the football coming off their half-back, really bombing it down the line and just hoping someone will take a big grab. I think they need to really start lowering their eyes and hitting a couple of targets just to control the football rather than turning it over.
Brad Riddle belts it forward. Danny Gray now takes possession, gives it to Tutu. He gets the handball away. Unable to gather it in then, it was Holmes. And the Jets will clear once more. The kick really into open space. It's O'Driscoll who leads the race to the footy. Couldn't quite gather it in, but he had Villani in support. Villani's kick was a nice one. Off and running. The Jets. Thumping kick forward. Brad Riddle. Birds off the tackler again. He's been caught holding the ball. No, it wasn't paid this time. Aiken gets the hot handball. Aiken's high kick to full forward. One-on-one contest. Ball spills to ground. Odermatt forced onto his right side. And he's kicked the goal. Goal to Oders. In fact, as I mentioned, it was his right side. It's his wrong side, of course, non-dominant side. But he's managed to sneak through the goal. And Heathmont get their 5th on the board. Great footy by the Jets that time.
Yeah, and a fantastic contest down there by Big Sheen. Just really, brought the ball to the ground. He couldn't take the mark, but certainly brought in his other forwards, and hence Odermatt at the fall of the ball there, picked it up and snapped on his right foot.
Absolutely perfect positioning, the palm down. So we've got a blood rule.
Looks like Knudsen coming off.
John O'Knudsen. His replacement will be Kev Clark.
And it's interesting looking at the Heathmont goal kickers. Sheen 3, Aitken 1, Odermatt 1. The 3 big guns all getting on the goal on the scoreboard early.
Absolutely. Keno got the knock down and then tried to go on with it. He was caught. We have a free kick to Heathmont as they go forward. Dylan. Shocking kick at half forward, chopped off. Glen Waverley looked to rebound once again. So end-to-end football at the moment, a little bit kick to kick. Fia Tutu's in there, just went off to the side as Heathmont charged the ball back towards centre half forward. It really is becoming a little bit of kick to kick at the moment. Corey Walker in the middle of the ground had to get support in from Brad Riddle, who came in, but he lost the pill. Picked up there by Broadbent, goes into the Aitken direction, takes the mark, scoots off and kicks an absolute shank off the side of his boot. Out of bounds on the full. Mickey Aitken, wouldn't that have got the Jet crowd alight if he had slotted that one through? Unfortunately, though, off to the side.
I think he did the right thing by playing on into that breeze, but the execution obviously failed, but the right idea at the right time.
So it'll be Walker to bring it back for the Hawks. It's to take off. It does. Beautiful looking kick in the 2-2 direction. Can he get there? Makes a contest of it. Boundary line beats all players. Have a throw in. It's Anthony Hickey going along with the chase as well. So the umpire to bring it in. Sheen put his body in the ruck contest, palmed it down nicely. Ball still at ground level, shuffled along. Wing position now. Who can get the centre clearance? Looked like it was going to be Heathmont. The tackle was late as the ball's booted inside 50. But looking for Davies, the boundary line once again beats them. That left of screen end, as soon as it hits the paddock, it does scoot on a little bit. Still quite wet underfoot. Haven't had any rain in this game. So it's a 14-point lead to Heathmont. 13 minutes into this second term. 35 metres out from the Glen Waverley goals. Charging through is Davies.
Oh, well done.
Could he get boot to ball? Kick goes right of the goal face. One behind. They're edging closer though. 3 goals for 22 Heathmont. They're in front though at the 13-minute mark. They are 5 goals for 34.
Big Rob Davies, and he just would not be stopped, and he was like a train coming through, and they were all hanging off him, but he still managed to get his kick in just off target. Baker brings the ball back in for Heathmont. Heathmont Jets players appealing for holding the ball, but certainly seemed to be no prior opportunity, so the ball to be thrown up. It's sort of just turning into quite an absorbing contest in the second quarter. 2-2's handball didn't travel very far. And another strong tackle. Pyatt will throw it up. Just try to pick up who's contesting it here. It was Davies actually who went up in the ruck for the Hawks. Crashing his way through was Ferrier. The handball out to Baker. Clark the target now. Takes possession, gives it to Paul. Darren Paul. Awkward kicking style, but he's usually reasonably effective. He got it to Hickey. Lovely pass by Anthony Hickey. Hits Aitken on the chest. Aitken wheels around. Thumping kick for Big Sheen. That's copybook stuff from the Jets. But Sheen just couldn't quite drag in the mark. Great build-up, though, there with Clark getting it to Hickey onto Aitken. And finishing off, of course, with Sheen, the big target. Strong tackle, excuse me, very strong tackle applied by Savoury, who's been really good, I reckon, this first half. In fact, it was Odom at that time, but Rob Savoury's had a fine first half for the Jets, playing a little bit of a different role, more defensive in this game. And we'll have another ball up, so it's just a bit of a stalemate at the moment. Anderson went up in the ruck. McGee, yet another kick for him. Him and Dewar have just about had their own footy in this first half. Danny Gray's kick was intended for 2-2. Picking his pocket, though, was Will Villani. Villani takes possession now, sends it forward. Well played by Riddle in defence. Matthews takes it now for the Hawks and kicks out towards the wing where he finds Azzopardi. Andrew Azzopardi quickly moves it forward. Front position, though, was owned by O'Driscoll. Ferrier pumps it forward for the Jets. Into open space, McGee hunts it down. Just somehow bundles the ball forward. Not cleanly, though. High tackle must be paid. Obvious free kick. And there's no doubt about that one. It goes to Foot. Foot shares it with Carnelli. Driving kick by Matty Carnelli, who's been pretty quiet so far. Baker came from behind there against Grasser. Good, disciplined defensive punch to the boundary and forces a boundary throw in as Heathmont lead. 5 goals, 5-35 to the Glen Waverley Hawks, 3-4-22.
The umpire throws it in. It'll be Davies in the ruck contest, palmed it down. Plenty of players around the pill. Heathmont screaming for the free. The umpire said, not a chance. Another bounce, 25 metres out from goal. Inside the Glen Waverley forward 50. Umpire throws it up. Trying to break through was Lepore. Quick kick out of the defensive zone. That was good by Heathmont if they can find a target. Across the half forward line, going in very hard with Sam Anderson. He's given away a free kick. So the Hawks look to reload again. Scrambly old kick towards half forward, went into Carnelli's chest. Mongrel pump put him off. Good play there by McGee to get the handball out. That was slightly smothered. The umpire
It was
said,
really silly by Matt Carnelli then to give the free kick away.
so Carnelli's just come in charged unnecessarily. So it'll be Anderson. Goes wide. He's looking for Will Villani. 2-2. He's the first one to get there. He trips over his own feet right in front of the Heathmont Colts on the other side, and didn't they all enjoy seeing that happen? The umpire to bring it in. Anderson versus Keno. Keno got the tap down. Kicking towards half forward. Davies over the back. Carnelli, can he get there in time? He may have given away another free kick, going in very hard. Heathmont under a little bit of pressure here as the ball's toe poked out. Clint Walker maybe there. So up towards the wing position. Odermatt comes out, needs to trap it. Second go, not too bad. Dewar did well, handball to Azzopardi. Back to Dewar. They've lost it there, the Hawks. Can the ball scramble out? Nicely done there by Walker. Snap around the body. Inside 50, looking for Davies' direction. 1 bite, 2. That is a terrific mark, Robert Davies. You'd nearly say he might have been playing a bit of a decoy this afternoon, as all the focus may be on Matty Carnelli, because he has started fantastically and they are looking for him.
Yeah, because Carnelli at this stage really hasn't had much of the football, and Rob's work rate across the half-forward line has been really impressive to date. And he's kicked 2 behind so far, so it'd be nice for him to go back for his own confidence and actually kick truly.
It's not going to happen this time as he kicks to the top of the goal square, running through Fiatitu off the ground, couldn't get boot to ball. It's still alive in there, but rushed over for 1 behind. Glen Waverley Hawks, 3 goals, 5-23, trailing Heathmont to a 5-5-35. 19.5 minutes gone, second quarter. Division 4 grand final day.
So the ball will be brought back in now. The Jets. And certainly been down that end of the ground for most of this, for the majority of this second quarter. It's Baker who brings it back in. Handball over the top to Villani. That's Jamie this time. Finds Clark. So Kevin Clark sends it forward. Want is the target. Finds him now. David Want. Very unique kicking action that he has. Foot at the back for the Hawks. Takes possession now. Not his best effort though with the kick. It was intercepted by Want. Want very low underground kick to Clark. Over the top Hickey. Can it sit for him now? Now it does. Hickey wheels around. High kick. Azzopardi works his way back, but Sheen still took the mark.
And tells him about it.
Oh, how did he do that? Azzopardi there seemed to just fill the spot, fill the hole perfectly. But in the end, when it actually came to time to, put a fist to the ball, somehow it eluded him.
I think what we've seen too over the last 10 minutes, and I mentioned this earlier in the quarter, that Heathmont have actually started to really use the ball better into the wind. They're lowering their eyes, they're hitting some targets. On the flip side, Glen Waverley Hawks are just missing some targets at the moment around the ground at important stages.
So Sheen, he's a thumping kick and he's made no mistake. Splits the middle, gets his 4th goal, and Heathmont now move on to 6-5-41. The Glen Waverley Hawks 3-5-23.
Just shows how important that inclusion of Aitken was today to allow Sheen not to maybe possibly get double teamed throughout the afternoon, because you have to have a tall back on Aitken. You have to, and you just have to. So Sheen's been able to. Well, we know he can beat one player, but two sometimes could be a bit much. So
Another blood rule.
4 goals, amazing effort. That takes his tally up to 31 goals already for the final series, and he's still got 2.5 quarters to play. A bit scary.
Oda Matt coming off with the blood rule. Darren Paul back on.
He'd be probably pretty disappointed if he gets a scar, Oders. So ball back in the middle. Anderson versus Keno. Charging through there was Steve Shaw. Couldn't pick the ball up. Waverley through Dewar. Kick it up towards centre half forward. Dropped mark once again at the crucial stage. Jets have some numbers up back. That's okay. Paul. Handball over the top. Oh, nearly a free kick. Push in the back. It will be paid. We'll go to Hickey.
He's had a terrific first half, Anthony Hickey. He's really given them first use. He's in and under, and use of the football's been impressive to date.
Covered top to tail with mud as well. Goes short to Jamie Villani. He's also been pretty impressive in this first half, Jamie Villani. Goes back. Maybe trying to eat up the clock a little bit here, Heathmont. Against this breeze, they've stopped the Glen Waverley run. Kick up towards the wing position. Broadcast side man in front. Mark Foot takes a mark. Swings around now. Little chip up towards the Carnelli direction. Mark couldn't be taken. In comes Gray. That's Danny Gray. Kicks it long. Looking for Davies. Boundary line might beat them here. No, it just stays in. Davies on hands and knees. Picks the ball up. Pushed over the line eventually. We'll have a boundary throw in. 25 metres out from goal. When Waverley Hawks end. 23.5 minutes gone. They're trailing by 3 goals. Balls it in, double fisted by Davies into the goal square. Can someone get boot to ball? Yes, they can. Savoury to just boot it out into the Baker direction. He wants the boundary line. It's going to find it. So 6 goals, 5, 41 plays 3 goals, 5, 23. 24 minutes gone.
Since Dewar kicked his first goal for the quarter, Heathmont have actually closed down on him a lot more and actually won their own football, and we've seen a bit of a change in the game since Dewar's sort of gone out of the game over the last 8 or 9 minutes.
Stoppages continue. The ball sits 30 metres out from goal. Speak of the devil, Dewar almost got it then. Quick kick out of the pack. Creates a foot race to the other side of the ground. Boundary line's going to beat all players. First one to get there was Spurns. We'll have another throw in. This time it's 35 metres out. Grandstand side of Tormore Reserve. Ball beats all players.
Oh.
Great fierce tackling, and once again a restart. So Davies. Davies goes up against Ferns. Ball hits the deck. Lots of Jets around this one, but there's a hawk at the bottom of it, not letting anyone get it out. And we'll have another boundary, another ball up. Yeah, now. Ferns got it down. Fia 2-2 tried to go on with it. Got a little handball off. That was okay. They're still in and amongst it. John O'Knutson pushing it to his team's advantage. That was clever. Now it'll be Jamie Villani outside 50, who, if he can get a good bounce, he can be off. He does. Takes a good step and then kicks it out to the wing position. With Shaw. Dances around one. Passes it off. Good pressure by both sides in these last few minutes.
No.
Heathmont, they have numbers through the middle of the ground if they can spot them up now. Kick goes forward into the Aitken direction. It went straight over his head. Probably a little bit rushed. It'll be Glen Waverley to start their attack once again. Gray put on a lead, but it was a little bit of a dummy because the kick was intended for Mark Foot. Clever play. Gives it off to Gray now. So the running Danny Gray kicks it inside 50. Maybe a little nudge in the back for your tutus there. So too is Dewar. Swings around on the left foot, kick to the top of the square. Oh, straight through Savory's hands. There's now the ball's hot once again. Baker comes over the back, just gets boot to ball. He had to bang it out. Didn't have anyone to go to. Walker takes it, plays on, kicks to the top of the square, over the back of the pack, rushed through for one behind. Dangerous couple of minutes in junk time. When Waverley Hawks, they move to 3 goals, 6:24. 27-minute mark, they are trailing Heathmont, who are 6 goals, 5:41.
And it will be Dylan Sverns to bring the ball back in. Deep into time on here. Sverns directing traffic, just surveying all of his options. Swings it out to that outer side where there's a big pack competing for it. Comes out to Aaron Riddle. Fires at the goals. It'll be an amazing goal if he's kicked it.
I think he's got it too.
And he has kicked it. Goal of the day to Aaron Riddle for the Glen Waverley Hawks deep into this second quarter. And that's one very handy goal just before half-time for the Hawks.
Yeah, very much needed, and one of their key players on ball, just winning a football around the stoppage and slotting it true from the boundary. A terrific goal right at the end of this quarter.
Seems the game's always getting excited when Brad Henderson's calling. We might just get you to call the whole second half there, Brad. Make sure everybody enjoys their day. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Glen Waverley trying to get the centre clearance, but Heathmont up towards half forward. Odermatt dragged off the football. Nearly could have won a free kick. Running through nicely there is Sindri. Can he kick it on? Gives it to Odermatt. Bang from 50 metres. He wants a piece of it. Oders, it doesn't matter because she just launches and dives in front of him. Takes a great slips catch in the end. And the big fella, he wants to go on with it, but he'll be told to go back and shoot for his 5th goal in the first half.
This is a huge goal. After Glen Waverley have worked so hard to kick their 3rd for the quarter, Heathmont are going to reply straight away, and that's a little bit of a knife on the siren for Heathmont.
So on half-time, Darren Sheen, he'll probably kick this ball out of the stadium. He does. That's his 5th. That's Heathmont's 7th. They move on to 7 goals, 5, 46, 47. It's a handy lead, Brad Henderson. Glen Waverley Hawks are 4 goals, 6:30. So that's half-time here out at Tormore Reserve for the Division 4 Grand Final. We'll be back for the second half. What a game it shapes to be.
3rd quarter just about to get underway. The Premiership quarter in the Division 4 Senior Grand Final for season 2011. At half-time, Heathmont 7 goals, 5:47. Leading the Glen Waverley Hawks 4 goals, 6:30. In that first half, for the Jets, Darren Sheen kicked 5, 1 each to Aitken and Odermatt, and for the Glen Waverley Hawks, 4 individual goal kickers, Grasser, Dewar, Matthews and Aaron Riddle. 3rd quarter gets underway, and it will be the Hawks kicking to the right-hand side of your screen as a lot of players dive over the footy. Davey's involved there, and he looked pretty imposing in that first half. Keno to compete in the ruck. Big Danny Keno goes up. Hickey was there at the fall of the ball. Dewar takes possession, although he was forced to get rid of it very quickly to Riddle. Jets come away. Handball from Ferrier over the top. Hunting down the footy was Sindri to Want. David Want now. Got a nice shepherd from Will Villani.
Oh, terrible.
But terrible. It was a terrible kick David Want. It is the thing that just hampers him a bit. His kicking isn't great. It's a very awkward style. Sometimes he does hit the target, but not as efficient by foot as you'd like as Worrell. Sends it out to Clint Walker, who sold himself into a lot of trouble. Worrell coughs it up, and Will Villani races in and kicks a goal that will just break the hearts of the Glen Waverley Hawks coaching staff. That was poor footy in defence from the Hawks. Started with that poor kick, started with that dangerous handball, and then Worrell just not maybe straight line the ball the way he needed to, and Villani raced in and kicked the easy goal, Brownie.
Yeah, just good forward pressure once again by Heathmont. And yeah, the one thing with Glen Waverley today, they have been a little bit fumbly with the football. And it's just an area in this second half, if they're to turn the scoreboard around, they're going to have to just really clean up their skills. But terrific start by Heathmont for the quarter.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. McDermott and Keno, Fia 2-2, got the clearance, kicks inside 50. Charging out was Ferrier, that was good play, bangs it on the boot, kicks it up in towards the Odermatt direction. He's got a few metres on his opponent. Ball doesn't bounce kindly though, over the boundary line and out of bounds. 65 metres out from the Heathmont goals. 2.5 minutes into this third quarter. It's 23 points the difference in favour of the Jets. High balls it in. Comes across to half forward. Handball over the top by Savoury. Couldn't quite link up his teammate. Stucks on the mill. We'll have another bounce. So they've got the breeze this quarter, Heathmont. They'll be looking to build on the current lead that they have. Ball up. Right near that boundary line once again. So plenty of stoppages in the last minute or so. To bring it in. Dermott got front spot. Got a good fist on it. Handball over the top towards the Fia 2-2 direction. Handballs it to himself, just playing it out in front. That was good work. Coming across is Villani. Oh, sorry, Jono Knudsen. Gone, swings back. Should have taken the first option, holding the ball as a result. It'll be Glen Waverley to put it up towards half forward. In the Carnelli direction. Couldn't quite hold it, but good enough to get the second bite. Handball over the top. Now it's Robert Davies. Can he move it? Oh, they're stuffing around with a little bit. The Glen Waverley Hawks get boot to ball in the goal square. It's Dewar. Can he swing around? Does he have time? Back swings it. Gray, Danny Gray, can he squeeze this one? And he can. He worked it back magnificently with the breeze. Danny Gray, that's his first goal for the afternoon. Glen Waverley, they got the answer they were looking for. They move on to 5 goals 6, 36. They are still trailing Heathmont though, who are 8 goals 5, 53.
Yep, correct. Heathmont 8-5, 53. The Hawks 5-6, 36. So back to 17 points, the margin. After it was 17 points, of course, at the halftime break. At quarter time, it was 20 points. So it's been pretty tight, really, ever since that initial period where Heathmont kicked the first 4 goals. It certainly hasn't been much to split the two sides since then. High kick by Shaw. Drives it inside forward 50. Sheen coughed it up. Just couldn't quite gather it in cleanly. High kick out of defence by Maudsley. Looking for big Fia 2-2. And Odermatt was in front though and takes the mark. High ball from Odermatt and he's found Aiken. Aiken made to earn that one, but he kept his feet, kept his eyes on the footy. I don't reckon it was an easy ball there to mark from that came in from Odermatt, but Mick Aiken made it look easy. He's kicked 1 goal today. 1 goal 2 for Michael Aiken. It's usually a lovely kick off the boot from pretty well straight in front. He makes no mistake, and Aiken has his second. Heathmont get the quick reply once again. Is it going to be that type of game where the team that's coming from behind in the Hawks, every time they get a goal, the opposition has an answer for it? It appears to be that way so far.
Always enjoy watching Mick Aiken kick the football, especially when you know he's got it outside the 50-metre arc, Brad, and you just know he's going to make the distance with ease. So the ball back in the middle of the ground once again. Heathmont started the turn with a goal. Glen Waverley answered. Then the Jets got the last one. So it's all happening out here at Tormore Reserve. Knocked down by Keno. Have a restart in the middle. Fia 2-2 couldn't break the tackle.
Did you enjoy watching Nathan O'Keefe kicking the footy yesterday, Benny? Because that was impressive, I thought. Always enjoy watching the big full forwards kick the goals. Quickly picked up there by McGee. Scrambled a kick forward. Barely went in the required meterage. And the mark taken by Dewar. You'd nearly fancy him from this position. Dewar's going to go short though. Carnelli comes out and takes the mark. And the big fella will have his first chance to kick a goal for the game. He just says thanks for that as he speaks to his teammate Dewar then, because full forwards love that. Just lace out right in front of him, lets him run onto the footy.
So Matt Carnelli, stellar season. He'll be really wanting to get his handle on this game and kick his first goal for the afternoon. He kicks it straight over the goal umpire's head. Terrific goal there for the Glen Waverley Hawks. That is Carnelli's first. Glen Waverley Hawks move on to 6 goals, 6-42. They're trailing Heathmont 8 goals, 5-53. Gone 7.5 minutes here in the third quarter. The Premiership quarter, the Division 4 Grand Final.
Just really good ball use by Darren Dewar there. Just grabbed some composure from the mark, pushed back, waited for an option to present, and just put the ball out in front of Matt Carnelli, who really needs to get involved in this second half for Glen Waverley to get back into the game.
He's had an outstanding game, Darren Dewar. Set up another goal then. Back in the middle, McGee. Soccer's off the ground. Sindri pursues the footy, but it's Gray who gets to it first. High kick there from Danny Gray, who's been pretty good early in this third quarter. It's 2-2, working hard, tries to shovel the footy out. Riddle gets a high tackle. Gee, was
in the back as
got
well.
A high one, then one in the back, and he was held for a long time there by David Want. Umpire thought nothing of it. So Brad Riddle gets to his feet. Umpire tosses it up. It's Keno going up against McDermott. A lot of players over the footy. And Shaw there on the bottom of the pack. Good battle between the two ruckmen. That's a bit of a neutralised one that time. Quick kick came out of the pack from Brad Riddle. Bounces to full forward. Under pressure, strong
Great
tackle applied. And the free kick will go to O'Driscoll. Was a great tackle there from the Heathmont defender on Carnelli.
Playing well, O'Driscoll.
Certainly taking the honours in that battle. Kieran O'Driscoll out of defence. High kick. Good one though. Found Sindri, who's always lively on the wing.
Gotta move it.
David Sindri loves to run with the footy. This time forced to kick from a standing start. Maudsley defensively for the Hawks.
Not a good kick back into the corridor.
Certainly wasn't a good one. Under pressure, Worrell coughed it up, tried to dish it off to Keno. Big back-fisted handball there, backhander from Keno. Clint Walker had a fresh air shot, but then somehow got it to Riddle. Hickey to Knudsen. Little handball from Ferrier out towards Baker that time. Ball somehow finds its way into the hands of Brad Riddle. He drives it forward looking for Carnelli. Carnelli kept his feet while O'Driscoll went to ground, and that favoured the big full forward, but unfortunately couldn't finish off that time. And Matty Carnelli a minor score.
So it'll be Baker. And the Jets go short. Ferns. The back pocket. Familiar left foot kick. Didn't go anywhere near the intended target as Dewar swings around now on his left boot. Kicks it to true centre half forward position. Couldn't take the mark was Danny Gray after the first bounce. Charging through is David Sindri. For the Jets, kicks it out to the wing position. Odermatt comes up from half forward flank, went for the fly. One bite, couldn't take it on the second. Ball hits the deck. Corey Walker's out there too, allowing a lot of pressure to go on. Boundary line's right there also. The umpire's going to play deliberate here. He's going to go against the Glen Waverley Hawks. It'll go to the Jets. Not often you see it deliberate paid, especially in the grand final.
Baker.
So Baker, kick up towards half forward. Ball goes over everyone's head. Kino just couldn't trap it near the line. Over the boundary line once again. 11 minutes gone here in the third quarter. It's Heathmont. 9-5-59. The Glen Waverley Hawks are 6 goals, 7-43. This Heathmont drive the ball forward again. Sheen gets down low, the big fella, takes a great mark. 40 metres out, difficult angle, but for what we've seen today from the big man, he is on fire, and this probably won't be too much trouble.
No, distance won't trouble him, Benny. I guess it's just a question of accuracy, but having kicked 5 so far today, it looks like he's got his kicking boots on. Brownie, I'm going to back him in.
Yeah, I'm with you. He's kicked really well at goal today. We've probably mozzed him now, but I am backing him to kick this.
The crowd will tell the story. Darren Sheen comes in from 30 metres out. I think he's put it through. What a terrific kick. This guy is on fire. 6 goals to Darren Sheen, taking Heathmont up to 10 goals, 5-65. They are leading the Glen Waverley Hawks 6-7-43. 12-minute mark of the third quarter, the Premiership quarter in the Division 4 Grand Final.
Just some good ball use there by Heathmont. Nice lace out once again to a leading full forward, and Sheen capitalised and kicked truly. Credit to Glen Waverley. I think they've been very competitive this third quarter and been able to kick 2 goals. It's a really important 10 minutes of football for them now before the use of the wind in the last quarter.
Keno soccers it forward. Gray, Danny Gray, was he held without it? Umpire said no. They crashed their way in, the players from both teams, cleverly palmed out by Anderson. Gee, that was clever to Broadbent. Broadbent's kick into open space. Again, the ball bypasses both Odermatt and Foot when Odermatt led the race to the footy. And the handball there from Azzopardi under pressure finds the boundary line. That's twice in this quarter where Odermatt's certainly given Mark Foot the slip and has had a big, has had plenty of space between himself and his opponent. And the ball's just gone over the top of both of them. So Sindri this time couldn't quite keep the ball in play. Another boundary throw in. It will be Keno against Anderson, who showed a lot of dexterity just a couple of minutes ago. Sam Anderson, I should say. There's the kick forward, looking for Aitken, but boundary line was beckoning. And it's out of bounds on the full. No, in fact, sorry, might have been touched off the boot there. So boundary throw in just in front of the scoreboard here at Toolmore Reserve, which reads Heathmont 10-5. Glen Waverley 6 goals, 7. 18-point lead as it stands at this stage. Long kick for Sheen. Josh Gray competing with him well then and forcing it over for a minor score. But gee, Heathmont look dangerous at the moment. 10 goals, 6-66, leading the Glen Waverley Hawks 6 goals, 7-43.
Short passes on from the kick in, looking for Worrell. Missed it. Now the Jets will charge forward again if they can just get a clean disposal. Glen Waverley Hawks, they have the numbers deep. Just looking to clear it once again. They will now. 2-2. Shocking kick off the side of the boot, and it's gone out of bounds. It's actually gone out of bounds on the full. Players talking to each other. I thought there might have been another free kick paid. There's a bit of discussion going on. Yes, it's good. It must have been touched off the boot, so it'll be out of bounds on the far side of the ground, 60 metres out from goals. Heathmont end, 15-minute mark. 65 plays 43, 22-point margin. Over the back, Sam Anderson. Ball moving up to Glen Waverley. They're doing okay now. Oh, completely crunched there. Spoons put his body on the line. They're going to go short though. No, the umpire said it was a little bit too harsh. They'll start again. Just need to start taking a few risks in this third term. It's Glen Waverley. Push the ball up towards half forward now. Charging out his Riddle. Just can't quite trap it, ends up paddling at 20 metres in front of himself. The umpire's going to actually give him a free kick here, Riddle. So kicks into the forward pocket, looking for Grasser. He was good, but Milani was better. Kick up towards the wing position. 2-2 takes it, then takes off. Kicks inside 50. Who's the target over the back of the pack? Can they run on and kick a goal? This is a big play in the goal square. Grass has taken a mark. It wasn't intended for him, but he was in the right spot. And from the top of the goal square, you'll expect him to kick his second goal and Glen Waverley's 7th.
Mark Foot it was, Benny, who kicked it then to Grasser and sets him up for what should be his second goal.
So Simon Grasser had a great season. Very committed man. Comes in from 20 metres, kicks a goal. And Waverley Hawks, they will not go away. They move to 7 goals, 749. Only 16 points to different now out at Tormore Reserve as we cross the 17-minute mark of the third quarter, because Heathmont are 10-5-65. Wow, what a game, John Brown.
Yeah, it's fantastic. This has been a terrific quarter of football, and some real good credit to Glen Waverley Hawks, you know, to actually go 3 goals apiece with Heathmont, who have got the use of the breeze. Just their work rates picked up, and just capitalising in front of the goals at the moment. And it's a real important time in the game now for Glen Waverley, who are trailing, but who are really holding tough.
Heathmont 10 goals, 6-66, leading the Glen Waverley Hawks 7-7-49. 17-point lead to the Jets. Another clearance goes the way of Heathmont. Clark puts his body over the ball, and he dived on the footy. Umpire says holding the ball.
He was there.
He was well tackled. Great committed effort there from 2 Hawks players. So as a party, got it from foot. As a party's kick looking for McGee against Knudsen. Free kick paid against Jono Knudsen, goes to McGee. Wayne McGee's kick hugging the boundary, probably not the right spot. He was chopped off by Odermatt, I think, there. And there's plenty of push and shove going on.
Yellow card as well.
Yellow card has been issued. And just try to pick up
Rob Davies, I think it is.
Yep, spot on. Rob Davies has copped the yellow card. He's also just got one in the midriff there from Travis Ling on his way off.
He's been an important player too, so that is just crucial and very silly.
That's a long run from the other side of the ground, and he's not in any hurry, which is fair enough. So Davies will come off, and it will be David Holmes to replace him on the field. So play continues now. Ball carried over the head of Josh Gray. And once again, the boundary line comes into play. So it's still a 17-point lead to the Jets, approaching time on in this third quarter. Anderson there just cut off Dewar's handball. Foot trying to wrestle the ball out there against Aitken. Umpire tosses it up now. Gray it was, Josh Gray, who won the tap down to McGee. Strong tackle applied by McGee on Ling. And we'll have a boundary throw in this time. The boundary line was the victor. Josh Gray positions himself for the ruck contest against Anderson. Ball spills up towards the wing. Will Villani committed then, put his body on the line against the big ruckman, Keno. Seemed to be a shove in the back, into the back there of Lepore. But I think, no, in fact the umpire deemed that that wasn't there, so the umpire throws it up. Gray palms it down. Lepore once again goes to ground. Shaw getting involved, crashing in. Sindri was there as well. Finally, Broadbent takes possession.
What are you doing?
Yeah, risky handball. Not sure what he was trying to achieve that time. As a party, looks for Dura along the line, and the boundary line is found once again. And yeah, Luke Broadbent there, he came off with the darting run and thought it looked like it was going to create some play for Heathmont, and then the handball was really errant one. Not sure who it was intended for. Strong tackle applied. This time Ferrier boots it forward.
The intensity in the game's actually really lifted over the last 5 minutes. You can really sense it out on the ground that both sides are just looking for that small little edge.
If it was over this side of the ground, Brownie, it'd be absolutely fantastic, because the crowd would be coming alive with if all of this play was over here. But as it is, they're just watching on, waiting for something to really happen in this game. But I agree, it's a hotly contested footy at the moment. Every kick is hard earned. And that time, Ferrier and Gray, the last two to get up. So we've got another blood rule, and it's Villani coming off the field. and blood coming from his nose, so he will come off. And
Odermatt certainly worked hard and got the rewards for being first in.
You'd expect this to be bread and butter for Lee Odermatt. He's already kicked one this afternoon, leans over and kicks it straight through the middle, and the whole Heathmont contingency really enjoyed that one as Heathmont kicked their 11th goal for the afternoon. They move on to 11 goals, 6-72. Glen Waverley Hawks are 7-7, 49. So big goal in the context of this game. However, each time Heathmont's managed to get one, Glen Waverley have managed to peg one back, so there's still plenty of time. You'd expect it to be a 3 to 4 goal breeze here, so Heathmont will only be comfortable now knowing that they've got that 4 goal buffer, Brownie.
Yeah, it is. It's really important, and as you mentioned, Glen Waverley Hawks have gone toe-to-toe on the scoreboard, and you know, it's really important that if Heathmont are to hold this lead, that they're going to have to defend hard over the next 5 minutes.
And that's exactly what they are doing right now. O'Driscoll against Carnelli, whose handball released Matthews, but he just fumbled again. It's been a problem all day, as we've mentioned, Brownie, the not having the sure hands, the Hawks today. Chance here for the Jets to send it forward, the Hawks, I should say, through Azzopardi. What a mark. Great defensive mark that time against Holmes, taken by Jamie Villani. And that was a wonderful mark. Judged it beautifully. Finds Savoury. Rob Savoury's long driving kick. It was a telling one, looking for Forsyth. Azzopardi. Neat pass by Andrew Azzopardi, and that will be a 25-metre penalty for sure. And the card's coming out. Card has been issued, and Darren Dewar will be the beneficiary of a 25-metre penalty. And Rob Savoury, who's had a great game today, just blocks his copybook infraction there with that infringement.
Dewar can make this distance. Oh no, geez, it didn't get looked after by the umpire.
25 is not such a long distance, and yeah, I reckon you're right. That was probably more like about 20 metres. Goes short now to Carnelli.
Very important piece of play here for both teams for completely different reasons, and this is a big shot on goal.
So Matty Carnelli, former Premiership player at the Roeville Football Club, wants to repeat the dose here today. The kick hangs it out to the left. Massive pack of players camped under it. Strong tackle applied once more, and that was Dylan Sverns who got his hands on the footy and then was just beset on all sides by Heathmont Jets. I should say by the Glen Waverley Hawks. Holmes dives in over the footy, tries to win it out. A lot of stoppages in this quarter, lots of boundary throw-ins and ball-ups, which I think you're right, Ben. I think your point was well made. There'll be a lot of time on in this quarter. Could go a good 31, 32 minutes this term.
I think it might be a free kick to Glen Waverley.
It is a free kick. It's going to looks like David Holmes there in the forward pocket. Let's see what Holmes can do. Obviously a difficult angle, but it's the preferred side for a right footer. Has he snuck it home?
Hit the post.
Hit the post, in fact, and disappointing result there for the Jets. I'm going to keep doing that all day, I think. For the Hawks, I should say. Minus score there to David Holmes. And Glen Waverley still trail by that sort of 3-4 goal margin.
Big kick in, went every bit of 60 metres. Heathmont, short pass. Jono Knudsen gathers near the boundary. Handball back, went through Broadbent's hands. Going in hard was Dewar, received the free kick. Straight away spins around on that left foot. He's spotted up a target. Well done, found Gray. Danny Gray now, short pass, 2-on-1 situation.
Terrible kick.
It was indeed. Kieran O'Driscoll just stood true, took the mark, goes short to Hickey, short to Jono Knudsen. Got players on if he can spot up McDermott. Kicks to the wing position now, probably was the wrong option. Over the back of the pack now, it becomes a foot race. Kick off the ground, beautifully done there by Broadbent as it goes inside 50. Darren Sheen just calling for the deliberate. It might get paid. No, it was close. Pye let the crowd ride it a little bit there. So 28 minutes gone in this third term. High balls it up. Crashing down, Darren Sheen later, terrific tackle. Ball's kicked out of the defensive 50 for Glen Waverley, but it's going to get pumped in again by Knudsen for Heathmont as he kicks it to the top of the square. Where's Mickey Aitken? Charges over the back. Couldn't get his hand to ball. Good handball there by Maudsley. They're going to clear it again, the Hawks. Fia Tutu dropped what he should have taken. The ball spills now to Will Villani. He has time. Handball across to Ferrier. Scrubber of a kick goes up to centre half forward. Doesn't matter because McDermott was there. They're working in numbers. Knudsen goes back. That's okay. Broadbent slips over, regathers and then boots it inside 50, but the kick went straight down Azzopardi's throat. He takes the mark for the Hawks.
Tutu's dropped a couple of marks today. It's just an area of his game today has been a little bit fumbly and just an important stage of the game.
Oh, terrific flying mark by Dewar. He's been a star all afternoon. Takes the mark, 29 minutes gone. And that is the siren right on the 29-minute mark. A bit interesting that it only went that long because at three-quarter time, it is Heathmont holding the lead. They are 11 goals, 672. Glen Waverley Hawks are 7 goals, 850. We're all set for a big final quarter, the last quarter of the year in Division 4 Grand Final.
Set for the last quarter to get underway, the final quarter of the season in Division 4 football for 2011. And it should be a great quarter as well. Make no mistake, the Glen Waverley Hawks are not out of this game. They trail by 22 points. Heathmont are 11 goals, 672. The Glen Waverley Hawks, 7 goals, 850. In that third quarter, Heathmont kicked 4 goals, 1 to Glen Waverley Hawks, 3 goals, 2. So it was another very tight term. It's been tight all day as just see Kiddo Zalewski make his way in front of us, in front of our broadcast position. Interested observer, as everybody will be for this last quarter. It's going to be great. That was McDermott who won the first tap of the quarter. Ball comes out towards the half-forward position. Who can get to it first? It's a charge of the Light Brigade as Azzopardi takes possession. He was tackled for a while there by Forsyth. Finally got the handball away. A couple of members of the SEN Team of the Year squad involved with Forsyth putting the tackle on Azzopardi.
Azzopardi's been put down forward.
Keno won it down to Aaron Riddle. Hickey, who's had a great game today, the Heathmont Best and Fairest winner, heads towards the boundary line. And the intensity really started to lift midway through that third term, and all of a sudden, every footy, every contest was hotly contested as Paul, not his best effort, Dewar sends it forward again. This time though, nice mark taken, although it will be a free kick to Danny Gray. Gray's long tallying kick to full forward, looking for Grasser. It landed at his ankles. And then the handball came from Baker towards Villani over the boundary line, but it's in a dangerous spot here. The Heathmont defence. Big fist. Straight back over the boundary line. It's been amazing today on a ground where there's so much space, such a spacious, wide arena. We've seen the boundary come into effect on many, many occasions. Carnelli had his kick partly smothered. And they appeal again for a kick out on the full. Umpire saw it differently. Almost 2 minutes gone in this final quarter. No score thus far at 22 points the margin. Carnelli that time went up in the ruck. Strong tackle by Brad Riddle on Villani. O'Driscoll on the deck. They all apply strong tackles as well. Spurns had his opponent there in had his opponent all tied up. Spurns, quick kick. Matt really making sure he stuck the tackle then. And I tend to think that this kind of rolling maul might be the order of the day in the final quarter. Conditions have worsened. There's the quick kick out of the pack. Well, it's a goal. Talk about making something out of nothing. And talk about a captain's goal. Kicked by Wayne McGee. Some great work from him. And Wayne McGee gets his first of the day. And a much needed goal for the Hawks. It brings the deficit back to 16 points.
Yeah, just a nice classy finish by the captain there, and McGee just hit the ball with full pace and converted with a nice little check side.
Ball coming back to the middle of the ground. 3.5 minutes gone. Final term of the year, Division 4 Grand Final day. 16 points the margin. It's the Hawks with the handy breeze in this last term, but it's the Jets with the lead at this stage. So it's McDermott. Great
done.
centre clearance there. Beautifully done by McGee, the man who kicked the last goal, kicks it to the top of the square. But at the last line of defence, Forsyth takes the mark. Goes short. He's got a teammate out there. Sindri.
Broadbent.
Broadbent. We'll have the ball in. So nice fist away that time by O'Driscoll. Gained a valuable 10 or so metres. Another boundary throw in, about 50 metres out from the Glen Waverley Hawks goals. It'll be Gray and Ferrier to go up in the ruck this time. Ball in was a little bit short, hits the deck. Doesn't seem like it's coming out of there. The umpire will start it again. Ball up. Metres out from the Glen Waverley Hawks goals. Clearing kick. The mark's being taken. It'll be the Jets to reload. So, not in any hurry you wouldn't expect in this last quarter, Heathmont, but that kick's gone very wayward, out of bounds on the full. It's reached centre wing position. So Glen Waverley going to be smart, you'd think, in this first 10 minutes before any necessary risks have to be taken. Kick goes up to centre half forward. The mark was taken by Paul. Kicks it up to the wing position. Odermatt was a big flyer, couldn't pull it down. Now they're charging through the middle of the ground. The Hawks, just the linking of the handballs is letting them down at the moment as Villani gets it across. Good smother and then kick out of mid-air, but look who's just come on. Robert Davies, the man who copped the yellow card in that third quarter, gets it and drives it up towards the Azzopardi direction. Went straight through his mitts, coming out towards the forward pocket. Who can gather now? Nicely done by Spurs for the Jets. Off the ground, going forward by Carnelli off the ground. What a cracker that is. What a team-lifting goal. In fact, Matty Carnelli, wow, what a season he's had. That's his second for the afternoon. That's their ninth, the Glen Waverley Hawks, and they moved to 9 goals, 862. Only 10 points down now. Heathmont 11, 672. And boy, has this game just heated up.
Absolutely, and what a critical interchange move that was with Rob Davies coming off the bench. A kick off the ground by Heathmont and fell straight into his lap. And ball inside 50 and they convert.
Timing is everything sometimes, and it certainly was the case then for Rob Davies. Right place, right time for him. And it helped set up that goal for the Hawks as Dewar takes possession. He's been absolutely relentless today. Dewar's kick into open space. Heathmont have the numbers, 3-on-2. Was that a high tackle against McGee? Wasn't paid. Davies, did he drop it in the tackle? That wasn't paid either. Heathmont supporters not happy. They cannot believe a couple of those non-decisions.
That's terrible.
Now the free kick goes to the Hawks. Davies, beautiful pass. Wonderful pass, and gee, he's pumped up. Look at Rob Davies. He's fired up your former charge there, Brownie.
He is. I think the 15 minutes spent off the grounds had the blood boiling, and he's had an impact straight away when he's been back on the ground.
He's hit Azzopardi there on the chest. Azzopardi, beautiful kick. Wonderful kick. He splits the middle. Andrew Azzopardi kicks his first, and the Glen Waverley Hawks are right back in this game. They've started this final term in a blaze of glory. Azzopardi has his first, and the Heathmont defence just starting to get a little bit nervous down there. But that was great footy from the Hawks, albeit John beneficiaries of some pretty questionable umpiring decisions.
Yeah, it wasn't a great decision. The ball had actually moved out from the contest, but he He rewarded the hard effort by Rob Davies, and they've converted and got themselves right back into this game now.
They got the knockdown again, but John O'Canudson drives the ball forward into the Odomat direction, left it for Will Villani. He was tackled, completely wrapped up, but the umpire said a little bit too high. Got to let him go. Copper 25, so it's Will Villani. Short passes on, a good kick. The umpire's got to pluck a free kick out there, you would think. Doesn't matter because Ferns is gone and Mickey Aitken's been in front spot. The man with the beard on the last Saturday for the season will look to kick his third goal, and well, what an answer it will be for the Jets.
And as you say that, Benny, Kevin Clark going absolutely ballistic at that, the umpire for not awarding him that free kick that was obviously there.
So Mickey Aitken, he loves this situation. He's got Heathmont riding on his shoulders. He's pushed it to the right-hand side. Just tried to kick it a little bit too hard by the looks of things. So Heathmont move on to 11 goals, 773. Glen Waverley Hawks 10-8-68. It's a 5-point ball game, Brad Henderson.
Hasn't been his best day kicking-wise, Nick Aitken today. 2 goals, 3, plus an out-of-bounds on the full. And that was a bad miss.
Look at this. See, look at the space and room to play on.
That's Clint Hawker, who had his own field then on that occasion and ran his full measure. Taking possession is Gray. Josh Gray's kick, though, falls in the arms of Darren Paul, the veteran. Has certainly played his role today. Hasn't played a lot of senior footy this year for the Jets, but he's come in towards the end of the season and tapped into his vast experience, and it's certainly come in useful today as he found Will Villani, Jamie Villani, whose kick's been chopped off there by Aaron Riddle. He's played a fine game for the Hawks. Looking for Davies. Hickey had his handball smothered. Bit of time and space there for Savoury. Savoury's kick looking for Odomat.
Great smother.
And yes, it was a terrific smother off the boot of Lee Odomat. Some great work there done by Big Danny Keno, the ruckman, I think, with the smother on that occasion. McDermott wins the tap. Socket off the ground by Odomat. Inside forward 50. Aitken, was he held without it? It seemed to drop it. Umpire pretty much just said, "I'll play on." Could have been a free kick either way that time, but I think correctly the umpire swallowed the whistle. And changes still being made. Brad Riddle back on for the Hawks. Umpire throws it up. Little give was shot out. Favoured the Jets. Will Villani, the ball eluded him. 2-2, puts his body on the line. And another boundary throw-in, with Heathmont leading at this stage, 11 goals, 773. The Glen Waverley Hawks, 10 goals, 868. 5 points the margin. It's been a great quarter by the Hawks. Jets have led all day. Not once have the Glen Waverley Hawks hit the front in this game, but they are coming and coming hard. Keno looking for Dewar. Gray belts it forward. Jamie Villani hunts down the footy, was strongly tackled by Holmes. Atkinwood's it in support. Villani goes in after it again. It's a great battle on the outer side. Shaw was strongly tackled, and Savoury, in fact, it was. Get it right third time. Ferrier, in fact, the player who was caught holding the ball then. Terrific tackle by Holmes. But Jamie Villani there was in the right place to chop off that kick. Probably should have marked it. And we'll have another boundary throw in, just 5 points the margin, BWS.
So 50 metres out from the Glen Waverley goals. Good knock by Davies. Just to get amongst it, seems he missed that 15 minutes. Clearing kick now by Heathmont. Goes into the middle of the ground. Do they have the numbers? Slap back towards half forward for Glen Waverley. Streaming through the middle of the ground up towards the Aitken direction. He's found front spot. Good take, Mickey. It's in the middle of the ground. Pulled up a little bit, Proppy. Short kick. He shanked it, but it gets to half forward. Swinging around now. On the right foot to the top of the goal square. Sheeny takes the mark. He pulls it in. Plugger-like. One bite, he couldn't take it on the first bite, he took it on the third in the end, and he's just a man mountain. He's just too hard to stop.
Just interesting watching the ball movement there from Heathmont. I know BWS that you were out listening to the Heathmont coach at three-quarter time, and they really didn't want to play through the corridor, and yet their goal actually come from direct football to Mickey Aiken leading through the corridor.
Yeah, it's amazing. The direction was to not go anywhere near the middle of the ground, but when it hasn't been working in the first 13 minutes, maybe the boys tried to change it up. Sheen for number 6. I think he's missed it.
He's pumped though.
He's kicked the goal, no. Fantastic work. Darren Sheen, he's kicked 6 for the afternoon. Wow. They still keep holding on, Heathmont. 12 goals, 779, 11 points ahead of the Glen Waverley Hawks, 10-8-68. We've gone 13 and a half minutes in this last quarter Division 4 grand final day. It's number 7, in fact.
7 goals for Darren Sheen, and what a performance in this grand final. 12 goals, 779 Heathmont. They lead the Glen Waverley Hawks 10 goals, 8-68.
2 important goals to Sheen in this quarter.
Absolutely. That was the first goal of the Heathmont's kicked in this quarter.
Sorry.
In fact, Benny, but I think he kicked one late in the third. Might be the one you're thinking of. Back in the middle. And I'll tell you what, those Hawks jumpers, there ain't much white left on them in the middle. They're covered in mud. Keno, big fist.
Throws the ball
towards Holmes. Yeah, the ball's sort of more a black colour than red as this game continues. Clark is involved. Odermatt loves this situation. Odermatt fires towards the goal, but
downfield.
Oh, that's critical because the Hawks, I reckon Josh Gray had front position in the mark contest then. He would have, in the end he took the mark easily, but it's been paid downfield.
I don't think there was too much malice in it. Unfortunately, it was the momentum of Dewar on the tackle and just unfortunately followed Odermatt into the ground. So the free kick's probably there, but the intent was probably not to be pushing him in the back.
Darren Sheen for goal number 8. What a mighty performance in a grand final. Has he? No, he's missed that one. He's had a terrific final series and had the chance there to put the
big miss
Jets 17 points ahead. It is a big miss. Aitken missed one a short time ago as well, BWS, that you would expect him to normally kick. So they're just dodging a couple of bullets here, the Hawks, and the Jets letting them off the hook.
Just over the last 5 minutes, certainly Glen Waverley come out all guns blazing. Last 5 minutes, Heathmont have actually settled and they've started to actually touch the football, start to hit a couple of targets, and we're in for a very interesting next 5 minutes of this grand final.
16 minutes gone. Long kick out by Glen Waverley out of the danger zone. Good take. This is Dewar. He's been fantastic today. Kicks it into the middle of the ground. That was this great spotter. This is Danny Gray, who's also been impressive. Kicks it to half forward. Went straight.
Terrible mark.
Yeah, went straight through the arms of Maudsley, out to the side of the wing position. Heathmont driving the ball forward. Can they hit the target? They have.
Just small moments in a game with those chest marks across your half forward. You need to do those when you're 2 goals down.
Ball at half forward for Heathmont. Just kick it into the Sheen and Aiken direction. Sheen comes out and takes the mark. Nearly could have got 25 as well because he got a little bit extra with it, but Darren Sheen will be shooting for goal number 8. Take 2 from about 40 metres out, and this could really hurt the Hawks.
You couldn't see him missing 2 in a row, not from directly in front and probably only shooting from 35 out.
You wouldn't think so. To get it back to a 3-goal lead. One of the biggest kicks for his year. Plays cricket at the Heathmont Cricket Club. The boys wanted him to be part of the football season. What a pickup it was to get him down there. He's kicked 7 goals today already in a masterful performance at full forward. Leans over the ball and he's pushed this one to the left-hand side. Gave a little bit too much to the left. After his last one went to the right, minus score. Heathmont moved to 12 goals, 981 there. Leading the Glen Waverley Hawks to a 10-8-68, a 13-point margin. Brad Henderson.
Well, he kicked 7 straight, of course, and then his last 2 shots have been behinds. So his kicking has just deserted him at the wrong time.
Heathmont are really starting to get some control in this game over the last few minutes.
Paul fires at the goals to Aitken this time. Couldn't quite drag in the mark. Hawks come out of defence.
Down the ground, free.
And it will be a free down. Yep, spot on. So free kick this time goes to the Hawks. Walker. Shocking kick straight to Ferrier. It was in fact Durden, I should say, who turned it over then. And he's put it straight down, straight into the hands of Peter Ferrier. Ferrier's kick into open space. Gee, big clash off the footy then.
We've got to go.
Turn and go.
Off and running as a party, has a bounce.
For you 2-2.
Sorry, it is 2-2. Second bounce. Third bounce, almost in the tackle, was dangerous. 2-2's kick falls short, beautifully done by O'Driscoll. He's had a great game today, and he's taken the mark. O'Driscoll short to Savoury. Rob Savoury floats it up towards the wing. Taking the mark was Maudsley. Maudsley to Darren Dewar. Very high kick. Loose ball. Jets had the defender's foresight. It was a risky handball, but he got it to O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll's neat pass out of defence to Savoury. I reckon those two defenders for the Jets would be pretty just about in the votes today. Will Villani. Lovely pass to Sheen, who loses his strides.
He ducked.
He was. That certainly stopped his momentum. So Darren Sheen wants goal number 8. He's kicking. I said it's deserted him. It certainly has. That was his worst kick of the day. Could have been a push in the back. Durden. Sindri, it was handball under pressure. Walker dives over the footy. They all dive in. And we'll have a ball up. It is Heathmont 12 goals, 9, 81. Glen Waverley Hawks 10 goals, 8, 68. Into time on. 20 minutes gone in the final quarter. Ben Warren-Smith.
35 metres out from the Heathmont goals, charging through with Sheen then. Couldn't quite take it. The umpire's going to come in and bounce it again.
This is not only beneficial for Heathmont in terms of being in their forward line, but also a few stoppages here, running the clock down. And, you know, when you're 13 points up, it just gives you that little bit of momentum.
Odomat took it out of the ruck, could have maybe copped a high tackle, but he ducked into it. Umpire said play on. Ball goes out towards the win possession. Hickey's chasing after it. Boundary line beats all players. So 21 minutes gone here in the final term. It's 13 points the difference. Heathmont in front. McGee straight out of the contest. 2-2, just bangs it on his boot up towards half forward. Got some very valuable meterage there as Rob Davies came to meet it. Out of bounds, 65 metres out from the Glen Waverley Hawks goals. It's important they kick a goal in the next minute or so. Keep the momentum going. Or just to even restart it as the umpire throws it in. Right on that 50-metre line. Far side of the ground. Ball not going anywhere.
The game's still here for Glen Waverley Hawks to win this, but they're just going to really have to turn it on over the next few minutes here just to hit the scoreboard, build that excitement and, you know, give themselves an opportunity. They're talented enough to do it, but they're really going to have to step up right now.
Terrific crowd out at Tormore Reserve today to watch Division 4 Grand Final Day. Quick kick inside 50. Going the Carnelli direction, big fly over the back. Ball hits the deck. Just paddling it to their advantage. We're the Heathmont defenders out of bounds right in front of the clock tower, which says that 22 minutes have passed in this Division 4 Grand Final. The final term, 13-point lead to Heathmont. So, it'll be another throw in, 35 metres out from goal. Keno over the back of the pack, taps it down. Good tackle by Matty Baker to lay the pressure on, and now it'll be the Jets to clear. They've got the numbers streaming through the middle of the ground if they want it. The foot race begins now. Paul's after it, traps it, beautifully done, gives it to Odermatt in the middle of the ground, gets onto a barrel to Zoders. It's a 2-on-2 situation. Sheen and Aiken versus the rest. The big man was trying hard to get there. Might have even gone out of bounds on the full. We'll have a boundary throw in. Half forward flank. Good in now. Odermatt gets a big fist on it. Gains about 5 to 10 metres.
Sorry, BWS. It was just great to see Sheen do a big chase out of full forward there and just create a turnover for his team.
Really got the crowd excited. Mark's taken by Kev Clark on the centre wing position. He's going to send it long. Good kick up towards half forward. Mark was dropped by Savoury. Odermatt was there too, picked up by Broadbent. Another boundary throw in, about 70 metres out from the Heathmont goals. You can finally take over, Brad Henderson.
Thank you very much, Ben, as play begins once more. Maudsley was tackled, all wrapped up there by Villani. Great tackle, and it's been a feature of this game today, especially in the second half. 12 goals, 9-81. Heathmont leading the Glen Waverley Hawks 10 goals, 8-68. 13-point lead to the Jets. They've led at every change. They've led all day. Not once have the Hawks managed to edge in front. Danny Gray belts it forward into open space. The ball bounces over the back to Carnelli, races in and kicks the goal for the Hawks to keep them right in this game. The margin is back to 7 points. And critical goal there kicked by Matt Carnelli. He hasn't had a great day. He's kicked 3, so it doesn't look too bad. I reckon Kieran O'Driscoll has certainly taken the honours in that battle. But in the end, Carnelli has kicked a goal at a crucial stage. Brownie and the Hawks, like you said, there's time enough if they're good enough.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, there's plenty of time, and that was just a really important goal, probably against the flow. Heathmont have actually sort of controlled the game the last 5 minutes, and against the flow to kick a goal like that, that may create some movement and a little bit of excitement for the Glen Waverley Hawks as they try to kick the next one and get themselves even closer on the scoreboard now.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. McDermott put a knee up, giving away a free kick at the centre bounce. We all saw it. Free kick will go to Keno. Just to get it moving, he does to Dewar, kicks it to the hot spot inside 50, now to the top of the square. Can Grasser come out, put his body on the line? He did. Baker did well, tried to break 2 tackles. He did so though. Dylan Svern switches the play. They're doing all right now, the Jets. Matty Baker from half back kicks it to the wing position. Got to go. What a great mark taken by Paul, and now he takes off and he's going to set himself off through the middle of the ground. He does, and they're going to slow it down. You would expect McDermott just chips it over the top. Terrible kick because Maudsley's got that for now for Glen Waverley, and now they've got the players. Via Tutu at centre half forward, kicks it inside 50, can't hit the target. Ball hits the deck right on the 50-metre line. Should be a free kick to Glen Waverley. It will be. And it'll go in the way of Andrew Azzopardi. And as we saw from this, the opposite side of the ground, Azzopardi will not be troubled by this distance. He's 55 metres out on a 45-degree angle on this to bring his side back, well, to within a point. What a big kick in the context of this game. This is the definition of a captain's goal.
What a big turnover by McDermott in the middle of the ground. He really needed to hit the target. He had a couple of options on, and they were off. Unfortunately, it's gone down the other end, and this is a big kick.
It's either nail the short option or take the long one. Azzopardi crosses the 50. The kick's right there. It's going just to the right-hand side. Extra time could be on the cards here, gentlemen, as we cross the 27th minute mark in the 4th quarter. It is 12 goals, 9-81 Heathmont, 10 to 11 goals, 9-74.
75. Yeah, good point, BWS, and I reckon that was the murmur we heard go around the crowd then, that thought of extra time and a draw if one more goal is kicked for the Hawks, but the Jets are surging forward.
Big play here.
Ball's kick, inside forward 50, well done, Durden. Played that really well. Comes out of defence now to big Josh Gray, who touches it to the ground.
To his brother,
Gives
Danny.
it all he's got to Danny on the wing. Danny Gray flew for the mark. Jamie Villani has been tenacious all afternoon. His handball was chopped off by Danny Gray. The long kick.
Oh,
Man,
what a mark. That's a
Wonderful
party.
mark. He was 3 deep then in that contest. And the mark was reeled in by Andrew Azzopardi. Oh, he has stood up in the last couple of minutes. Azzopardi walks in.
Oh, no.
Gee,
It's
so
bang!
casual, but he snuck it home. The kick's just drawn back beautifully. It started right, and then it just came back enough. And Andrew Azzopardi has kicked his second goal. Unfortunately for the Heathmont defence, their general, Peter Forsyth, has come off the field under the blood rule a couple of moments ago, while Azzopardi was having a shot at goal a short time ago, and that has definitely hurt the Heathmont defence. Scores are dead set level, 12 goals, 9, 81. Hawks have never led in this game, but they have finally now levelled the scores. Ben Warren-Smith, take us through the dying minutes of this outstanding grand final.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. Who can give the last jolt? Keno got the knockdown. It's going to be Glen Waverley to get the centre clearance. McGee goes short. Ball at centre half forward now. Can Heathmont clear it? Maybe in the back it will be. I think that's Jamie Villani that's down there.
It's Davies.
Gee, the crowd's really on their toes now.
Switches the play out to Shaw, moving it. It's all about getting a score now. Not about being pretty. Caught over the other side of the ground. The umpire's just letting this ball go. Right near the wing position. Boundary lines there too. The umpire's going to pay something. Here's a siren. It's a draw. It is a draw out at Tormore Reserve. We will have extra time. Wow. 12 goals and 9.81 apiece at the 29-minute mark. The siren's gone. It is a draw.
That is absolutely amazing.
We've got the EFL operations manager, Phil Merton, running out into the middle of the ground to let everybody know what's happening now. But there will be extra time. I'm pretty sure, Brownie, it's 5 minutes going each way in as we hit extra time.
It is. Yeah, you have 5 minutes each way. The coaches can't address their players at this stage either. So this is where you need your leaders to actually gather your players, compose them, and reevaluate some goals over the next 10 minutes.
How exciting.
Wow, this is amazing. This is fantastic. Glen Waverley Hawks are actually starting the quarter with the breeze again. I actually thought they would have changed direction at the end of the 4 quarters.
Okay.
And continue to rotate. But obviously they're the rules. Phil would have known and instructed both teams.
I agree with you, Brownie. I reckon that's what they should do, but that isn't the rule. Yeah, the rule is you stay at the same ends for the first one. I agree. I think, anyway.
So it's 5 minutes per end for each side. If it's a draw after those 5 minutes, the game will go until the next score is kicked, I believe.
After the 2 5-minute periods, that's correct. So play goes on. Sindri got in the back of his opponent.
They're up and about at the moment, Glen Waverley.
They are. You can just see they're running on adrenaline at the moment, whereas Heathmont just trying to hold on. They've led all day, and all of a sudden the Hawks have just gradually worked their way back into the contest, and then of course in this last quarter they have kicked 5 goals in that final term as Walker kicks it forward. Out of defence, Broadbent. Up towards the right position and over the line.
Centimetre perfect, as Mr. Cometti would say.
He does like to say it, although he always has to be prodded and prompted to say it now. Umpire calls for a ball up once again.
I guess the one thing with this too is if, I guess with the stoppage and Glen Waverley Hawks having the 5 minutes with the breeze, the game's going to continue to go on and Heathmont are going to finish off with the breeze, and I wonder if there's some benefits to actually having that as well.
McGee's handball further afield, strong tackle by Sverns. Knudsen hunts down the footy, and they all pile in just in front of the interchange area for the Glen Waverley Hawks. Umpire tosses it up. Still in play. Umpire says play on. Can't find the footy now. It comes out.
No pressure.
Labor under pressure. Puts it out on the full. Out of bounds on the full against Ryan Lepore. Has an EFL Sunday panel appearance on his CV. Ben Warren Smith a couple of years ago.
Got to have one of those.
Do you know the rules, guys, in terms of, is it a direct 5 minutes or is it 5 minutes and stoppage time?
I'm pretty sure it's a direct 5 minutes, and then it goes into sudden death point situation afterwards.
There's the kick forward. No mark taken. Riddle missed it. Lepore can be the hero here, but he's put it out on the full. Gee, Ryan Lepore, he had a chance there. It was a lot of pressure though, but he would have liked to have done a lot better than that. Any score would have done at this stage, just to edge their noses in front. Baker to bring the ball back in, Ben.
So Matty Baker, he's smart, he'll go short and just chew this clock up. That's what they need to do. Crosses the face of goal, it was risky. Gone over the boundary line, out of bounds, right in front of that scoreboard, which reads scores locked, 12-9, 81 apiece. 3 minutes and we have gone into extra time. Each side will kick with 5 minutes per either end. Still unsure whether time on will exist. It soon will tell, because you nearly say it would have to, otherwise this wouldn't be allowed to go on. The fact that Heathmont just sucked up 45 seconds off the clock. The mark's been taken though by Robert Davies, just outside 50. Just wants to thump it to the goal square. It's going. Mark on the goal square to Grasser. In the goal square, just stands his ground. And he will put the Hawks in front for the first time this afternoon. 4 minutes into extra time, Simon Grasser will line up. And surely the Glen Waverley Hawks will go a goal ahead. So Grasser, really, he should be just moving it on. They do have the breeze. So Grasser comes in and puts it straight through the middle. Glen Waverley Hawks have hit the front for the first time this afternoon. 13 goals, 9-87. They leave Heathmont 12 goals, 9-81. 4.5 minutes into extra time out at Tormore Reserve, John Brown.
Yeah, very important goal for the Glen Waverley Hawks, and I'll be intrigued to see the mental capacity of Heathmont now, because it is the first time they've trailed all day. Yes, they are coming home with the breeze, but you know, you can still be challenged mentally in a situation like this. So, geez, we're in for an exciting last 5 minutes or so of this game.
So the goal kicked for the Glen Waverley Hawks, and they now lead by 6 points.
So time on does exist.
Yep, correct, and
so
has
it
to
should.
really. Yeah, well, so it should. You can't have players playing to the clock. It's not basketball. As Davies takes possession, dishes the handball out, tried to get it to Riddle.
Ooh, big play.
Sindri,
Great
through
kick.
the middle. Great kick it was. Hits his teammate on the chest. Heathmont through Darren Paul. Up and under kick.
What a mark!
What a mark by Darren Sheen. His hands are unbelievable, and he has taken a wonderful mark. One-handed, he was didn't look a chance to reel that in, and yet he did it and made it look easy.
He also needs to go back and convert, because he had a chance to put Heathmont probably as Premiership winners right at this stage, but yeah, he needs to go back and slot this through now.
Darren Sheen, 7 goals today. In this last quarter, he's only managed a couple of behinds. Can he be the hero and kick his 8th goal right to the line? And touch. It's been paid a point. The Hawks reckon they kept it in play. Josh Gray, he was adamant that he kept it inside the field of play, but it's been called a point.
Really doesn't make sense. It's either over the line or it's still in play, as it wasn't a double fister.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That's either a goal or it's play on.
Correct. Ball brought in. Still across the half-forward line. Snap around the body. It's going to go to the square. Mickey Aitken's in the front spot. And he comes out and takes a ripper mark. Gets down low, Mickey Aitken. Back into the side. He's kicked 2 goals this afternoon. Darren Sheen's had a chance to level the scores again. Mickey Aitken to put his side back in front. We've gone nearly 7 minutes into extra time in the first quarter of extra time. And Mickey Aitken, what a kick this will be. There's the siren of the first quarter gone in extra time.
You think if he kicks this, Heathmont will go on to win the Premiership.
5 points down. Mickey Aitken can put them back in front. He kicks it straight through the middle. Heathmont hit the front again just before the second half of extra time. And they move on to 13 goals, 10, 88. Wow, Glen Waverley Hawks at 13 goals, 987. This game, it has been a cracker from go to woe when we head into extra time with only 1 point in the difference still.
What a fantastic game of football that's been today. It's obviously the culmination of extra time's created some more excitement, but what a ripping game that seesawed. And, you know, it's a credit to Glen Waverley Hawks that they've actually just had that fight and the ability to keep coming. And once again, you know, that same fight from Heathmont to actually then reclaim the lead over the last couple of minutes into the breeze. So, yeah, look, I tend to think that Heathmont coming home with this breeze have got the advantage now.
And look at all the spectators running from one end of the ground to the other so they can be at the attacking end for their team on the outer side of the ground. So the second half of extra time begins. 1 point the margin. It's going to go right down to the wire. Villani takes possession.
Oh, that's an important mark.
It was a critical mark. I think that came from Forsyth, who's wearing, number 70 now. That's not a great kick though. And the Hawks had it well scouted. It was Walker who's had a really good game today. Free kick decision and free kick going to the Glen Hawks with Corey Walker. So Corey Walker out of wing. 1 point the margin. Jets lead by virtue of that goal after the siren by Mick Aitken. Long kick forward.
Great contest there by Heathmont.
Josh Gray, soccer kick off the ground. Durden against Sheen. Good battle between the two. Durden did well, but then he takes it to the boundary line. Sheen wants to deliver it out of bounds.
Screaming for everything.
Just noticed that Glen Waverley Hawks have thrown Andrew Azzopardi into a loose man across the back line, and I'll be intrigued to see how Heathmont actually go about that.
Aiken, high kick to the top of the square. Villani tries to hunt it down. It fell perilously close to his fingertips. Corey Walker out of defence.
Oh, no.
Drop mark by Clark, who's been pretty quiet today, you have to say. Sindri, little handball. Intercepted by Walker. Danny Gray belts it out of defence. Jamie Villani, oh, look at the tricks. Over the back into his hands. Villani's kick, Durden safely takes the mark. Toby Durden directing traffic. Wants someone to kick to. They're all pretty stationary. Both teams badly fatigued. It's a war of attrition at the moment. Handball from Matthews. Odomat. Lee Odomat belts it forward for the Jets into open space, straight over the boundary line. 2 minutes gone in the second extra time period, and Heathmont lead by 1 point. No score so far in this extra stanza, BWS.
We can throw in. Inside the attacking 50 just for Heathmont. Ball's thrown in, Anderson lost the back spot. High tackle here, it'll be a free kick to Heathmont, charging through.
That was against foot to Kevin Clark, the two number 10s involved.
So yes, free kick to Clark.
You tend to think if he actually kicks this goal, it puts Glen Waverley Hawks at least 2 kicks behind and probably running out of time. So this is a big kick by Kev Clark.
He's a great finisher on the run. Very good kick in general play, but how will he go from a set shot? That's the question.
So Kev Clark, 45-degree angle. He'll kick from 45 metres. You'll hear the crowd if it goes through. Have a look at this kick. He's kicked it straight through the middle. Kev Clark, you could be the hero this afternoon for the Jets. He moves them on to 14 goals, 10.94. 2 kicks now the difference from the Glen Waverley Hawks, 13-9-87. We've got a 7-point ball game. We've gone 3.5 minutes into the second half of extra time. There's going to only be 3 or 4 minutes left in this game. Wow, John Brown, what a goal that was.
Oh, that was a huge goal. That was fantastic by Kev Clark to go back under pressure in a grand final, extra time, and the clock ticking away to slot it. You know, typical left footer, just pretty reliable and straight through the middle. Fantastic.
So 14-10 plays, 13 goals, 9. It is a 7-point lead now to the Jets. And as you mentioned, Brownie, 2 goals needed for the Hawks to win. Dewar, best on the ground in my opinion today. Mighty game by him. Lovely pass again to Tutu. Fia Tutu led up full-chested, took the mark.
Good defence.
Kicks it forward. Great work by O'Driscoll again, who's been outstanding in defence for the Jets. Anderson on hands and knees. Gee, had it for a long time, but you're right, nobody wanted to tackle him. They all tried to cut off the handball, intended handball.
Just noticed over this extra time period that McDermott hasn't spent a lot of time in the ruck, and whether that's through injury or fatigue, I'm not sure, but it actually has been important because Disco for Glen Waverley in the ruck, Danny Keno has been very influential once again.
Yeah, big fist out of the air that time. Davies to Holmes, under pressure. Kick only went a couple of metres. Nice work by Forsyth. Got it out to Hickey. Hickey's kick bounces around the boundary, and that was perfectly summed up in the situation. About 20 metres gained for his team, and a boundary throw in. 5 minutes have gone in this extra time period. BWS bring it home.
Ball comes in right in front of us here. The umpire wants to let it go. Nearly a push in the back. He's not going to pay that in the last couple of minutes. 7 points is the margin.
Knudsen off again.
Jono Knudsen comes off. Travis Ling comes on for the final minutes of this game. What a season it's been in Division 4. 7 points the difference. Only a few minutes left. Big fist by Kenau, knocked it to his teammates' advantage. McGee, he's in there. Desperation stakes role
he's
players.
Ping him here.
He's going to pay holding the ball against Heathmont. It was pretty stiff. Wayne McGee.
Big play now.
The co-captain of the Glen Waverley Hawks sends the ball searching in. Can they pull down a ripper mark? No. Ball hits the deck. Darren Paul wasn't letting that one get out. 35 metres out from the Glen Waverley Hawks goals. They're trailing by 7 points as the Heathmont Jets 6 minutes into extra time. The final siren cannot be that far away. Knock over the back of Spurns. Quick kick up to the top of the square. Look at the pressure. There's so many players down in that defensive zone, and now they're going to clear it with a short kick. Oh, it's terrible.
He's
pass.
played
on Clint
no.
Walker. The umpire's just allowed it to stay off. McGee.
Oh, someone's been flattened behind play. Oh, the siren's gone.
There's the siren. Heathmont have won the grand final by 7 points, Division 4. Well, what a game we saw today. 14 goals, 10, 94. Defeated 13-9-87. What a performance it was. It's pretty hard to hear that in the end, but from all sides of the ground, they've been streaming onto it. And it's the Heathmont Jets, the premiers for season 2011.
Nice work.
What a game. Glen Waverley Hawks and Heathmont, full credit to both of the sides for the show that they put on this afternoon. Fantastic effort by the Glen Waverley Hawks. They came back when a lot of us thought the game was gone in the last quarter. They tied it up. They were absolutely gallant today. Hold your heads high, boys. You did a fantastic job. Unfortunately, there can only be one winner for the Hawks, boys. And that was the Heathmont Football Club today in a game that we're going to remember for a long, long time. We're going to start the Premiership presentations. And to make the presentations, please welcome from the EFL board, Jim Walker. The first award that we'll present this afternoon is the Frank Bibby Medal, awarded to the player adjudged best field. They will also receive a blue ribbon medal. The winner of the Frank Bibby Medal for season 2011 from the Heathmont Football Club, number 15, Darren Sheen. We'll start with the presentation of the Premiership medals, starting with number 1, Michael Aitken. He's not looking, number 1, Michael Aitken. Number 4, Jonathan Knudsen. Number 8, Jamie Villani. Number 10, Kevin Clark. Number 11, Will Villani. Number 12, Dylan Sverns. Number 14, Anthony Hickey. Number 15, the Frank Bibby medalist, Darren Sheen. Number 16, Luke McDermott. Number 18, Peter Forsyth. Ended the game wearing number 70. Number 20, Darren Paul. Number 22, Leo DeMatt. Number 23, Robbie Savoury. Number 25, David Sindri. Number 27, David Want. Number 28, Peter Ferrier. Number 30, Luke Broadbent. Number 31, Matthew Baker. Number 34, Kieran O'Driscoll. Number 36, Sam Anderson. And number 39, Travis Ling. The trainer, Kelly Sverns. Trainer, Ben Lister. The runner, Matthew Carr. And the team manager, Leslie Knudsen. Ladies and gentlemen, the Premiership captain, number 21, Stephen Shaw. And the Premiership coach, Stephen Buckle. We'll ask Stephen to say a few words.
What a super game, boys. It was bloody terrific. I'd like to thank the Glen Waverley boys. What a great game. You held yourself with the highest esteem, and we respect you right to the very end, and we look forward to seeing you again next year. But to my boys, for them to come out like that and pretty much head us, and a lot of people here would have thought they had the way. They won the game, but you dug in, you give it your teeth, and when it was time to push, you pushed back, and what a great effort, and I'm proud of you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2011 Division 4 Premiers, Heathmont.